So before you start enjoying this episode of our podcast, we just want to give you a fair warning that our normal mic was not working. We decided a different mic, and at certain points it couldn't handle the amazing laughter and fun times we were having. So listen to this if you're using headphones at least at half volume. If not, just turn it down a little bit and it'll be all right. Thanks and enjoy the show.
Welcome, everyone. This is episode 6.5 of the All Around Podcast. We are players of the Round Table. Today is March 12th, 2017. My name is Nick. Followed with me, as always, is the delightful Jeremy.
How's it going?
And now, today, Jeremy, we do have a new guest.
That we do.
The lovely and delightful Ian.
Did I talk here?
Yes. Yeah, that close. At all times.
Okay. Hi, guys. It's really nice to be here.
The worst part is going to be a pain in the ass for Jeremy. God forbid he has to edit.
No, she should be all right.
Just to mess with that around. So Ian, we have you on today because me and Jeremy lightly brought it up in our last podcast.
Yes.
Very faintly brought it up. That Mass Effect Andromeda is coming out. We're all very excited. Looks very interesting.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of feelings, which we'll get into here in a sec. But we definitely want to bring in a third person just because, Jeremy, right, you have not played a single Mass Effect.
I have not.
Which is fucking sacrilegious.
I'm sorry.
First of all.
It's goddamn blasphemy.
Yeah, it's a goddamn tragedy.
I never had enough time.
How dare you? How dare you, sir? We make you make the time.
All the time you spend on guitar. Could have been saving the goddamn galaxy.
There it is.
Spoiler.
Oh god. Alright, so
Spoiler for Mass Effect, you saved the galaxy.
Whoa!
Too
man,
far,
too much. That's
far.
it. Podcast over.
Yeah,
Done. Have fun, guys.
Yeah.
No, so Ian, so before we even started, you were feeling some very strong opinions. I would like to know your first out of the gate opinions.
I'm actually gonna stray off topic here, and I'm actually really upset.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out where your bowl of sprinkles is.
How dare you? There's one photo posted on the Facebook page. You're gonna put me on full blast before we even go
Full
on
blast.
Okay.
Where the fucking
So hold on. So here's what happened.
I can say fuck, right?
So yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yes.
So here's what happened. So when we did our other 0.5 podcast, okay, we had our great friend Stork on.
Yes.
So before we were doing the whole thing, this is like totally breaking the fourth wall for all the listeners. So what happened was Jeremy was recapping with Stork about a bunch of stuff that we needed to get prepped for. I was starving and didn't eat for probably like 3 hours beforehand.
Yep.
And I had to hit up the food store. I literally went to the food store immediately after we stopped recording.
Yep.
But this is all beforehand, so I didn't go to the food store yet. So I was like doing that classic like 20-something thing of like, what do I have to eat that is even partially like an even amount of sustainable meal, which was ice cream.
And sprinkles?
Stop! You're back to sprinkles!
That was your first choice.
No, it wasn't my first choice. It was a last resort. We've been over this. I did not have any food. So I went for ice cream.
Yep.
And got a bowl full.
Yep.
And we went through. But by the time we finished explaining half the rules, half the ice cream melted. Ergo, in the photo, you were pretty much only seeing sprinkles when there is a puddle of like milk essentially at the bottom of the bowl, which I did not. I just
sprinkle
The
cereal.
sprinkles were just floating on top.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
What was your question again?
So my question was, you seemed very with Mass Effect at least, because obviously we're gonna go into a huge fucking thing about it.
Oh, yeah.
But you seemed
Concerned.
Yeah, you seem concerned. Concerned is the word you used.
Yes.
I'd like you. Yeah. So what's going on? Talk us through it.
Well, my main concern really, and I guess most of this is kind of irrelevant because it's things that I wish we would have done, but it's completely irrelevant because we're totally not going that direction. I felt that there was more story to tell in the Milky Way galaxy. For God's sakes.
Yes.
It's an entire
Yes, I totally
galaxy.
get that. Yeah.
And I understand why they did it. And my idea is that how do you top saving the galaxy?
Well, and also too, because I mean this one is taking place in between 2 and 3, which
Partially.
Yes.
Partially.
It's
Keep that in mind.
yes,
Partially.
it is weird how they're
It
doing
is.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what's interesting so here's the two thoughts why I have behind that.
Oh no.
So the first the first thing is so they don't have to even worry or contemplate the whole Mass Effect 3 ending and the choice of that ending and how like you don't have to worry about the new galaxy and stuff. So because technically it is in that same it's different galaxy, but same overall concept.
Gotcha.
You can still have the same type of aliens, the same type of, interactions and stuff. The Reapers are still a threat, but that's the other thing that's still left vague, at least for Andromeda, is like how much of a threat the Reapers actually are right now. Because also, too, at the end of 2 is right when the Reapers actually show up. And it's just like shit's about to go ham. So that's where I was confused about. So from what this seems like, it at least... Well, and let me say it this way. My opinion is, it seems like it's going to start taking place like in the middle of Mass Effect 2.
No. And I know why. Because this is actually...
Okay.
And it's documented.
Clear this up for me.
This is 600 years after the
Really?
events.
Yes and no. You're both right. So
they might have left around that time.
So at the end of 2, the Andromeda Initiative is a thing, and they leave.
Okay.
So when we start this game, we're going to be seeing bits and pieces of 2. We're going to see bits and pieces of the Andromeda Initiative, seeing how they get there. The gameplay is 600 years in the future, because it takes that long for them to get from the Milky Way to the Andromeda Galaxy. So I know you and I have both seen different videos where they say it takes place between 2 and 3.
So it's super misleading then.
Yes,
it
the
is.
beginning takes place between 2 and 3. When we play, we are 600 years after 3. So we do make a choice about the end of 3, but it doesn't affect it.
Because it's totally
it's totally different.
Yeah.
It shows up on like history. So like different scraps and things that you would find, collectibles might reference whatever your choice was for how it ended. But because you do make that choice in Andromeda, you make the choice of how 3 ended.
Okay.
You get to re-pick that choice if you played it. If you didn't, then you pick it for the first time. Like
Got it.
So different things that you'll find throughout the game may reference what you chose to be the ending.
Okay.
Which halfway changes the storyline, but not really.
Yeah.
Not enough to make an impact.
That's and that actually brings me to another topic that's very, very relevant. It's I don't know, you wouldn't know because you haven't really played any of them. And this is part of the DLC. Like some people who didn't play 1 or played 2 or played 3 and didn't play the other ones, they had access to a DLC called Genesis.
Yeah, which was like the comic.
It's a comic book strip that would start at the end of the beginning of that game. But what it would allow you to do is make the major choices from the previous game.
Yeah. Right. It's like a bullet-pointed version of the game, essentially.
So even if they left in between 2 and 3, there were still choices that were made.
Yep.
That would make a difference. And even so, even if they left afterward, this is still after 3.
Right.
And what Mass Effect is about is,
choices.
About the ending of that game, and it does make a huge impact, and it's going to impact not only the Milky Way, but another galaxy. So how do we
incorporate
how do we bridge that?
Yeah.
I was hoping for another Genesis to start out. Your choices that you made through the past 3 games will still, even if it's in between 2 and 3 and when they left, will still make a difference. And that was a huge thing and that I'm concerned about, because clearly these people were all over the Milky Way, and they've heard stories, and they're going to talk about things that were done.
Yeah,
so how do they
I think they're doing it this way.
Dialogue?
I think for people like us who have played the first 3, I think it's more concerning, and exactly just like what you said, because of that. But I think that's where I feel like then the marketing team kind of stepped in and was like, we got to make it for new people. It's the best way to bridge it to just like Jeremy, for example. It's like the best way to bridge it to people who have not played the games at all and just jump in. But no, I totally agree with what you're saying. There should absolutely, besides just trying to find like random Easter eggs, there should be some type of ahead of time, like it doesn't have to be in the first cutscene, but definitely early on in the game, some type of synopsis of the legend of Shepard, or the Shepard to save the galaxy, or what have you. Yeah, there should be something about it. I find it odd. Yeah, just like what you said. I find it very odd that they haven't, especially even too in the trailers and stuff, that they haven't brought it to much of a forefront. But I feel like it's that mix too of like how much do you incorporate without tying in the entire trilogy beforehand. You know what I mean? Because then it forces you to need to play it. You know.
Well, and the other thing too, they've already said that with veteran players, there will be things that the game is going to reference that you will be like, oh, hey, I remember that happening.
Yes.
Whereas I'm going to be like, oh, that sounds cool, and then probably research it because I'm a lore nerd.
Yeah.
But
because even too, like the Krogans
yeah.
might reference like one of their, you know what I mean, like one of the great leaders who almost like got sacrificed at a beach, or you know what I mean, like they might do stuff like that to reference one or something crazy.
I'm kind of nervous that they're gonna do something like what they did with the Force Awakens, like the first one. If correct me if I'm wrong, you can either join Darth Vader or kill him, but the second game, it's like you just didn't join him.
You mean Force Unleashed?
I'm sorry, what did I say? Force Awakens?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's sorry, I was going off the movies. I was like, that's a direct tie-in.
No, literally, like...
Yes, the second one does end to a choice.
They completely disregarded a choice that they gave you freely, and I think that's kind of garbage.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I mean, in a way, too, it's almost like Infamous, because in the beginning of Infamous, the whole first game, it's you're good or bad, and then the start of the second, it don't really give you that much of an option.
Well, I will say this, though. To counterpoint the Force Unleashed, I will say this. It is very lame that in the second game they disregard your whole other choice, but as a standpoint, all of the DLC in the first game is only based off the bad choice.
Yes.
If you become the Darth whatever, I can't remember the guy's name that he becomes into, but he becomes the Darth of the cybernetic armor, and you go through and literally kill all of the main characters from like episodes like 4 through 6. So like by the end of it, you kill like Han Solo, Chewbacca, Leia, and like at the end you do a lightsaber battle with Luke.
Yeah, they didn't do any DLC for if you made the good choice. You were just pretty much forced to be like, hey, so we're only going to continue this game if you made the bad choice, because that's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what's weird. So in the first one, they kind of forced you in that one direction, whereas opposed to then, in the second one. But at the same point, in the one, because I'm not too worried about spoilers at this point, if you pick the good ending, you died.
Yeah.
So they can't really continue that story, so they kind of made a what if. But, I mean, and first of all, the second game was not that good at all. But, you know what I mean? And even story continuity was way too confusing for me.
There was no need for a second one.
Well, I was glad they made one.
Gameplay-wise.
My opinion was I would have either liked either like an in-between story, some type of prequel story, or if anything, a different character entirely. That's what I would have liked for Force Unleashed 2. If they just would have done something like totally different like that.
So I guess...
But going off on stories still.
So I guess that ties into kind of what you were saying, Nick. An easy way to kind of break that story and your choices that you made is, what do? We go to a different galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's an easy way, again,
literally
to start fresh for new players.
But still give the feel to the veteran players.
Yeah. And still put tie-ins.
Yep.
So and like I said too, like I mean we have constructive criticism on it now, but that's the thing too. I mean, the second we pop the disc in, it might be a totally different feeling. They might have some type of big intro thing that they're not talking about to, I don't know, at this point maybe spoil it for people trying to get into it late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have also liked to see too. I'm really surprised. I haven't seen Xbox or PlayStation jump on Mass Effect for free with some type of gold or PlayStation Plus. I'm really surprised they didn't jump on that.
They do kind of somewhere, and that's through EA Access.
Got it.
I got all 3 games.
Very true.
I paid $5.
Very true.
That, and they are backwards compatible.
Yes.
And they became free through that.
But I'm surprised I'm surprised even like Xbox, for example, I'm surprised they're not doing like a discount with gold.
They might when it comes out.
Very true. But I'm saying you would think you'd want to play it before.
Yeah, but I mean, with the whole EA Access thing, it could
that
just be a
pretty
thing
much trumps it right there.
Yeah, they're just like, we'll just wait.
Yeah, that was a good point. Yeah.
The other thing that I'm almost surprised about is EA has partnered with Xbox for a lot of different things. They've also partnered with PlayStation for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that we haven't heard of any inklings where if you get Mass Effect Andromeda on Xbox, you'll get the first 3 games for free.
Yeah, like some type of exclusivity.
They did it with Rainbow Six. They did it with Gears of War. I'm also somewhat surprised that they haven't announced some kind of system bundle. Because
it's true.
Not even just for like a regular system, like, hey, I'm going to go to Walmart and buy this bundle. But like when they did the Final Fantasy 15 PlayStation, or something like that.
Well, I will say this though too, and this is something I found very surprising. This is by far the first Mass Effect. I mean, I know they're starting new, but I've not seen that much marketing.
No.
I mean, just in general, like, I mean, I'm not even seeing commercials that much. Like, there's not like a generic YouTube ad trailer that I keep seeing.
IGN's blasting it, but you're right, not mainstream like YouTube videos.
That being said, everybody knows about it now.
That's what I'm saying. And I remember when because I think it's just the franchise.
Yeah.
And thank God they have that. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Because it's like, because I remember when Mass Effect 3 and even 2, I remember seeing commercials all the time for it. And I find that weird. Yeah, like I mean, for this one, who pretty much they are banking on the fact of trying to get new people in, because veterans are a given. Anyone who's played Mass Effect and has loved it, you're absolutely getting this game. That's not a question of if you're going to get it or not. Because BioWare, in my opinion, they have always consistently knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic with all their games.
Yeah, but I think with this one, I feel like they really should have. It's the one time, and usually I hate over marketing, but this was almost the time where they should have.
They should have.
But as a counterpoint, they might be kind of doing, what almost like what we were talking about like last week and stuff with like Breath of the Wild. They might be doing kind of like a let's wait for the reviews, and the reviews will speak for themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, praying to God they get a bunch of 9s and 10s. Which I mean, obviously, if we're all buying it, let's hope they get 9s or 10s as well. But you know what I mean? That they just
do have a theory as to why they probably didn't go for like a bundle, and the reason is no other title has done that for Mass Effect. First off,
true.
That kind of gameplay. The third-person shooter, but then the story-driven.
Yeah, super RPG.
And it's just like that Batman game I gave you, Batman. What's it called?
Telltale.
Yeah, and it's
Telltale
almost like a
series.
guided story. A lot of Mass Effect is like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't sit through engaging conversations.
Yeah,
it's
very
not a game
true.
for
And that's a
everybody.
lot of time just talking. You're talking 50, 60, sometimes more hours sitting through a lot of it.
Yeah.
Half, more than half the conversations. So it's a core group of gamers, I think, that are you're answering to, and you don't have to make a bundle to get that game out. And I think if you make a bundle for it, some kid who's never played it before or an adult who's never played before is going to be like, oh yeah, let's get that bundle because they have no idea what it's about.
Yeah.
But like Battlefield, everyone knows that Battlefield's like it's been around forever. Call of Duty, like one of the top selling games of all time.
Yeah.
The most popular things are like, if we bundle this, it'll sell because we know a lot of people.
I'm still kind of surprised that they didn't do like a limited system,
some
like
type of N7 or something.
I would love one
too.
Because they did it with Final Fantasy. You know they're gonna do it with Kingdom Hearts. Now those are both Final Fantasy 15 is not like a console specific. It's still they're very partnered heavily with Sony.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been awesome to have even Mass Effect style controllers for Xbox.
Yeah.
Or
and also, I thought they did. Maybe.
Well, not for Andromeda.
Maybe I'm just hoping.
Not for Andromeda. Yeah, right. Yeah, wishful thinking. Yeah. Well, and also too, as going like a little bit off topic, but at least on the main thing. One thing I'm really interested in too, for just comic buyer, I've read a lot of the old lore comic-wise from the Mass Effect trilogy of a lot of side story stuff. I'm very interested to see, because I haven't heard anything yet through the grapevine of if they are going to do some type of comic series. I can almost guarantee they will do one. It's just a matter of when and what's going to take place. Are they going to somehow do stuff that might tie in from the older stuff more into the new? Because with the comics, you have so much more liability. Even, for example, one of the books actually from that more references Mass Effect 3 actually goes into a fourth entirely different ending for the entire series, which is cool. I won't talk about it here because I actually don't want to spoil it for people who haven't read it yet. But it's really interesting, and it's almost a lot of the comic writers actually talk about playing Mass Effect and having that kind of like not hate, because Mass Effect 3 got a lot of hate for its ending. I personally didn't hate it. I was just indifferent. I personally was just kind of like, no, I really was. I was just kind of just like, okay. Like, I wasn't like, it could have been better, but I definitely wasn't like, I got fucking cheated out of this, like, this is shit. Like, I didn't freak out like everybody else. Yeah. But what I loved was, even for the comic writers for that, they pretty much flat out said that they felt a feeling of indifference, and they just wanted a more elaborate, conclusive ending.
Is that why they forced out Leviathan?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and like,
give more, a little bit more story as to why this is happening.
But even so, but then when they wrote the books for everything and stuff, though, they did an entirely different ending and made it way more conclusive and gave even like a lot more characters like that final closure ending, which was really nice. It was really well done. It actually bothers me a lot because after reading that, I said, that is what that is how Mass Effect 3 should have ended.
Yeah.
And what's even funnier was after reading that, it's like I didn't even have a choice reading that. You know what I mean? In the sense of like there wasn't like a choice even at the end that they even produced to the to Shepard at the end. But even after reading that, I was like, I would have even rather preferred not having that choice and just doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than the other options that were given.
I mean, for God's sakes, the guy was already a war hero before the series started.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's like
yeah.
he needs.
He really was.
He needs to stop for a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's like Chief, man. He needs to just
exactly.
Yeah.
He needs to stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh man,
That's gonna be a whole. Yeah, that's gonna be a whole nother series we gotta get into. When they,
Let's go there.
When they finally announce Halo 6, which isn't coming out this year.
Don't talk about it. It might not happen.
it has to happen based off the ending. Ending of 5.
It's also going to happen because they said it's going to happen.
I'm just hoping someone doesn't bomb the facility.
They didn't say Halo 6, but they were like, the next Halo game's going to have split screen. We're sorry, it's coming
Jeremy,
back.
2017 with fact check. It is going to happen because they said so. And that's it. Done. Topic over.
Yeah.
Done. It's over.
The developer says it's going to happen.
But yeah, no, but I mean, yeah.
Scalebound didn't
Story. Too soon. Too soon, Jeremy. No, the story for this one looks definitely very interesting. I mean, especially too with the 600 years after and kind of seeing where that goes. It is in a different galaxy, so
makes me sad.
We'll see what's up with that. I mean, listen, it could be better. They could even just go like, "Hey, every planet is like a Citadel-esque thing," or this might be the galaxy of super importance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why they ship people out there now, and now there's potentially 15 mass relays in this one spot.
Yeah.
This might be like the global hotspot of, shit going down. And especially too, oh my gosh, I'm totally spacing on the name for him. The ancient race that shows up, it could be like one of the recruitable characters in 3. I'm talking the Protheans. Protheans, they there's already, even just from pop characters coming out and stuff, it was like impossible to get spoiled at this point.
Yeah.
Protheans are in this game.
Yes.
So
are they?
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen any.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen. Well, that's the thing. So I haven't seen any in gameplay or trailers or anything yet. But they're showing off pops, and the Protheans are definitely new. Like they're not.
Oh my god.
They're not old Protheans. So the whole thing is, oh my god. You gotta left. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you gotta wonder even more so.
Why?
Is it more people that came out of pods even later? Because that was the whole thing of there was only it's almost kind of Captain America-esque stories.
Yeah.
Because all of the pods by Mass Effect 3... No, I'm sorry, what am I saying? By the end of Mass Effect 1, all the Protheans that would have been alive were completely wiped out. They were drained of their life essence in the pods.
Except one.
Yeah, exactly. Except literally one. But then he fell into the other rando chamber. It wasn't even in the proper husk of pods. So they're probably far and few between, but there's definitely an importance of them. And you got to wonder, especially if it's taking place 600 years even after the fact, how the hell dude, of course their lifespan could be 1,000 years, so maybe it's not that big of a deal, but you still got to wonder if they're even around. It's got to be a big deal.
That probably means they had their own the same deal that this game, the same premise. They had that idea of leaving.
Yeah.
And just in case, because if this is definitely taking place in between 2 and 3, and I have some other theories behind that maybe we'll delve into later.
Definitely.
But that they were fearful. At one point, they were very fearful for the race.
Yeah.
And they had a couple different ideas, maybe sending one's off into another galaxy.
Like a Noah's Ark
the other
type
one's
thing?
Underground in pods. Hopefully, they'll survive.
Yeah. Well, that's where that's where most of them were.
Yeah.
Most of them were definitely in the pods. Because
that would make a lot of sense and a great way to introduce them because, just interacting with one person from that race, they're definitely interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And bringing them to a whole new galaxy, what have they been doing there?
Well, I also think, too, that is secretly BioWare's kind of way of answering people's rage of 3 yet again. Because, they gave you a Prothean as a DLC character.
Yeah.
Who was way too vital, in my opinion, to the story. Now, I will say this. I did get mad because you learned a lot about his backstory and stuff, which was very important.
Mm-hmm.
For the overall lore. But if you actually kind of really break it down to the game, I do get it. If you just look at it as a gameplay standpoint, I could see why that character is optional. Just purely in the sense of he doesn't do too much actually. It is nice to have an extra character. That's kind of it. But based off his race alone, already
It's important.
It's super important.
Yeah.
And it also is annoying too, because if you are going to put a character from lore aspect that important, you should give him a more important role in the game, not just, oh, here's a really cool backstory and then he's just a guy that brings up an occasional conversation. Like, no, it should be, especially near the end of the whole crazy Reaper conflict, he should be going in way more of like, no, this is what happened, this is like, this is how we interacted, here was my wife and kids when this thing like went down. You know what I mean? Just like the more backstory stuff like that.
Definitely should have been DLC. Should have just been a character right off the bat, part of the main story.
Yeah, or
no one would have been mad about it.
Yeah. Oh no, of course not. And if anything, too, I would have even more appreciated if it was more of like a secret character, of like one that wasn't even part of the initial roster, but like if you did certain decisions and went in a certain direction,
you cared more.
Exactly.
About the story.
Yeah. Like if you did follow the lore more and like. Think if they just partially even mentioned like, hey, there's this like Prothean incident, but whatever, and then they don't even bring it up as like a main side quest either, so like it comes up as one of those third like optional quests, but like obviously for lore you go like, oh no, I would totally do that, and then it just like, and then you go, holy shit, like that would be, for me that'd be mind-blowing. I want more. I agree. I want more games that are super RPG focused like that, like the Fallouts and stuff like that. I really want almost like a hidden companion. Like the best one I can describe that actually BioWare did was in Dragon Age 2. You had the one, I'm totally spaced on her name. The one pirate chick. If you didn't go you didn't go to the pub at that set time because like 3 people randomly brought it up in conversation, you never would recruit her. The first time I played it, I didn't recruit her the entire game. Did. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And then even for her character though, it's kind of perfect because she even dips out early before the ending of the game. There's no way to change that, which is kind of annoying. But whatever, they did what they did. But I still thought that was really cool. I just think more games should do that, where it's like, if you really want to fight for it and really want to build a full roster and really get the full lore, then do shit like that. I don't know. That's just a thought.
You just want them to give you a chance to fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Your whole game.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, no, but it's
replay value.
Yeah, exactly. Because you are. You know what I mean? I'm playing Mass Effect. I'm playing this new one. I played every Mass Effect at least twice. Mass Effect, the first times.
Oh god, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I see.
It's the Mako. That's it.
See, I love the first Mass Effect. That was me. Oh no, see, I love
everything else is great. It's just the exploration was dry.
Yes, it actually, that I will not deny.
Let's cruise, get out. I might be able to hack this. Oh, I'm not an engineer.
Well, see, here's the thing though, and here's what a lot of people, because a lot of people tell me they like Mass Effect 2 better. But here's my thing. I like Mass Effect 1. Let me say this: Mass Effect 1, for anybody listening, Mass Effect 1 is still personally my favorite. Here's why though. Because I compare it to 2, because 3, in my opinion, was a little too battle-heavy, which I'm not against, but if we're comparing the RPG franchise, I more enjoyed what 2 and 1 brought to the table. I still loved 3, but it's just, like I said, it was just a little too combat-heavy.
It was way faster-paced.
Yeah, which...
For sure.
Which, though, because of even the overall theme of the game, I totally get. It is more of a wartime, the Reapers are coming, it's a war now. Like... Shit's happening. Exactly. Yeah. You can't. It's like the time for diplomatic conversations is over. Shit has to get done. Yeah. I get that. The way it happened, I have nothing against it. Yeah, exactly. But the one thing I didn't like about 2, as opposed to 1, was 2 felt very monotonous. Only in the sense of I knew how the game was going to play out the second it started. You did your first 3 missions, then you recruited someone. Then you did another mission. Then you had the option to clearly recruit another character or do another story mission. Mm-hmm. And then once you even did all that, so then you rinsed and repeat that 5 times to get your whole cast of characters. And then they were just like, hey, by the way, here's the end of the game. You could do all the friendship missions for everybody.
Yep.
And you could just explore the planets. And by explore the planets, you just literally press planet, probes. Shoot it, and then, just come back.
I had a weird obsession about that like, there was, like, some secret...
thing. I had the same thing.
I'm like, I gotta strip all these planets.
Yeah.
And then I felt horrible because I'm like, I'm robbing all these people. Like, who did this?
All of our oxygen is gone. This man needed
this guy behind the controller. Raping the galaxy of all of its resources.
This man needed it for one ship to get through a barrier. Our entire oxygen is gone.
What, are you buying a new gun with that shit?
We've lost families. Not even a whole new gun. He got an ammo upgrade. Oh god. But yeah, so anyway, so that's why personally I liked 1 a lot more. Also 2, and this is completely personal, just from the way 1 introduced me to everything and how it was just that like fresh new game, still just blew my mind.
Absolutely.
I will say I did way more though enjoy Mass Effect 2's like companions. Mass Effect 2 I thought had way better companions. Except for Garrus.
Heavily about relationships. The whole game was literally about.
And you could bang multiple people. Fun fact.
Jack.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly.
Jack if you piss her off. Then you can still
the accidental Jack. See, I heard a lot of people got with Jack even on accident. I didn't get with Jack at all. I just hooked up with Miranda. Second I saw Miranda, I was like, I'm banging this bitch.
Apparently.
And then immediately, I'm sorry, this fine, respectable woman. # woman's appreciation.
Apparently, if you want to have sex with Jack without having to be completely committed, you just piss her off, feed into her anger, and you basically rage hump.
Yeah.
And then you can still be with other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great.
She doesn't care.
But then what that actually does, it ruins any future chance of being intimate with her.
Yeah.
As an actual relationship, you actually have to be nice and break her down.
Yeah.
Break through her walls.
Yes.
Talk about her past.
To
make
get
her
to
cry.
Yeah, exactly. To get the caramel center. That hard outer shell. No, but yeah, I definitely. I mean, like that's the other thing too. I'm not nervous. I really will confidently say that I'm not nervous about
excited.
The cast for the new one, because if we are going through cast of characters, I am glad we're getting another Turian, because I really want another
female.
Turian. Yes, which is great because I loved having Garrus in the first 3. Garrus was my
one of
boy.
my favorites.
Yeah,
Oh.
For me personally, Garrus was my absolute favorite. Yeah, he was just the bomb.
It was like forced favorite.
Yeah,
you had to like.
He was just too cool. And then in Mass Effect 2, they made him this badass like outlaw sniper that like you end up going on a mission because you think you're gonna kill him.
Archangel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Archangel.
Yeah. Exactly.
What a fucking cool name.
What a sick name.
On Omega.
Right. Yeah.
On Omega.
What are they, X-Men
Where there's
now?
clubs and gangs fighting, and the Archangel comes in
We have to. Yeah.
to take him down,
I just
but
love
no one
that.
knows who he is.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. He's a mystery, and then you just go in. You're just like Garrus. The fuck.
Shepard, I've been fucking everyone ever since you've been gone.
I go by Razor now. I go by Edgelord. Oh gosh. But yeah, no, I am very excited. The only partial worry I have is if we are just comparing to other not Bioshock.
Wow.
BioWare. Sorry, I mix it up all the time when I say it. BioWare. If we're comparing it to other BioWare games, Dragon Age Inquisition is pretty much the most recent, major RPG expansion.
Which BioWare is also making another IP.
Cool.
Which we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So I am excited for that.
It's gonna be interesting.
That means no new Dragon Age for a little while.
No.
Unless they have a third team working on something.
Well, what I was gonna say actually to that point though was I didn't like the cast. I didn't like the cast from Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I did not get into it at all. Most of them bored me, and it really pissed me off because I wanted to get into it.
Yeah.
Because I adored 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah,
had
absolutely.
no
They were
fucking
fantastic.
qualms. Had no qualms. Completely loved it. But it does just piss me off because it completely took me out of the game. And for a game that requires a little more of a grind to get through progressive story stuff with Inquisition points, which I kind of thought was bullshit, but whatever. I thought that was a cheap way to farm, to force me to explore in areas when I would have rather explored natural areas on my own. Because I hate when games do stuff like that, because when you have the open world, your natural thought is, oh,
I'm going to go wherever.
I'm going to progress where I want. But the problem with the Inquisition points was they pretty much forced you to go, hey, if you see this type of enemy, you got to kill him because you're going to get Inquisition points. If you see these type of castles or this type of glowing area, you better fucking go there because it's Inquisition points.
Yep.
So it's cool, but then it really dummy markers you down from exploring rando places because all you're looking for is green fire
Yep.
and demons. And then,
it was... open
just kinda
world,
uncapped.
but it was just like, this is a very linear open world game because you can do what you want, but it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
Count.
Yeah,
It's
and
more than-
that was the one thing, and I will say that's not a popular opinion because a lot of places gave it phenomenal, like 9s and 10 reviews. But for me, it just left a sour taste in my mouth. And I will say this.
I mean, half the time I was bored.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, because of the cast. For me, you need the cast to be good to keep you into it.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing of the game.
Well, that's why I like The Witcher so much.
Yeah.
I think the cast in that game is fantastic.
Well, they're so in depth.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
and
all the relations. I mean, also, it doesn't...
No.
it totally helps that fucking Geralt is banging, like,
Everybody.
80% of the cast.
Yeah. I played
great.
The Witcher 3 before I played Inquisition.
Yeah.
And I think that hurt Inquisition for me.
Oh, totally. Oh, absolutely.
Because I played The Witcher and I just got off, like, the high of this fantastic game.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, I mean, probably retro review, I give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
But, I get right into Dragon Age then and I'm just like, this isn't that great. Like, I'd love to play 1 and 2 because they were probably just on par with The Witcher for me while I was playing them.
Yeah.
And I didn't play something similar beforehand. I played Diablo beforehand, but that's not similar enough for me to go, the good apple is a bad apple.
No, yeah.
But it's Dragon Age Inquisition just didn't do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, like I said, it just it didn't hit the mark the way it wanted to.
I have a feeling I've never played Dragon Age, but like that forced exploration. From what I gathered from some of the videos, and they've actually almost blatantly said it, because of how the exploration was in the first one. You played it 4 times.
Yeah. Wait, are we talking about Mass Effect or Dragon Age?
Mass Effect.
Yes.
Okay, so dear God, the exploration in Mass Effect was huge areas, dry because there's not a lot of stuff. But
that was a huge issue.
Their huge focus is on there is going to be exploration, being able to find stuff, but there's points of interest.
Definitely.
So it's not going to be like official, like things like, oh, you're in the big town, and then there's somewhere out to go and get stuff, which I'm sure there will be. But there's other things along the way to kind of be like, oh, there's some stuff over here, instead of just driving the nomad all around. Aimlessly just looking for just randomness and like random monkeys that are just crawling around like the first one.
They've said all the side quests are going to be just as meaningful as the side quests were in The Witcher, which means that this game is going to have an incredible amount of important gameplay.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, and also, too, that's what I think, even what you were saying, too, Ian, with, like, having interesting points in between. I think that's when you and me are going to be a lot more satisfied with it, because that's when we're going to get a lot more lore in between stuff.
And
then
have it.
Exactly. And then
I can't complete it until everything's done.
That's when we're going to get those Shepard mentions, or, like, we're going to get Vetra, who, by the way, for people, is going to be the female, like, newer character for it. But yeah, she might talk about some reference to Garrus, or even some type of, like, there was, like, one hero who saved us all and that he could even be the Archangel. They might even reference his old title, but now, because 600 years later, he might be a legend just for that. You know what I mean?
It's his daughter no one told him about.
Oh!
Because he met someone on Omega.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, it's impossible, because if they left at the time that they did.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can still dream.
Could be his daughter. Well, no, it could be his daughter beforehand.
Yeah.
I'm saying even before they left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because that wasn't possible.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah, that's how I was like, yeah, it could be possible. Yeah. It wasn't possible, your original train of thought, but once you back up a little.
I suck.
Because it's not, it would have not been possible if Garrus was literally born full alien male during Mass Effect 1. Then maybe it wouldn't have
Every
happened.
time you want to talk to him in Mass Effect 2 and he's in the engine room, I'm just busy.
Yeah.
He's talking to his daughter. He's Skyping her, like FaceTiming and shit. He just didn't want to be bothered.
Yeah. Now we know. Now we know what's going on.
God. If there's any truth behind that, I will rule.
That'll be amazing. You called it here. You can even go
right
back
here.
To it. Yeah, right here. There it is. This is where me and Jeremy have made multiple accusations on upcoming things here.
Yes.
I don't think we've been right on any, but we've tried to make a couple.
I'm not 100% sure that anything we've speculated
where
on has even
wrong.
been proven.
Oh,
yet.
yeah, it's true.
Like, I don't even know if we can say.
We've done a lot of speculation.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't really speculate anything about Ghost Recon.
No.
And we didn't really speculate about Marvel vs. Capcom.
Well, no, because we knew what
speculated
that
on the
was.
Switch.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was
pretty accurate.
The
only I was quite a bit wrong on the initial overview of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So I really thought that was going to be a cash grab.
Yeah.
But it proved me wrong. Fucking phenomenal.
So good.
Yes. But anyway, sorry, going back to Mass Effect. We got stuck on themes.
I guess we were already talking about them. What are they? Their characters.
Oh, so for the characters? Okay,
Yeah.
so here.
Ooh.
So I'm on Andromeda's actual website here.
Do you want another concern?
Yeah, go for it.
So concern.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. This is for anyone listening. I'm not a hater. I'm not someone who's pessimistic. I'm invested in a series of choices that I've made, and it means so much. And I can speak for any Mass Effect player who's really played through all those games.
Oh yeah.
Or any game that like it. You know,
well, we put so much time into it already.
Exactly.
It means something.
So,
it absolutely means something.
These characters, I feel personally, I'm not going to do it on purpose. Then I'm going to put them on the biggest pedestal to
hit
be as good as the original N17.
Yes.
Of course, I go into it. This is not Shepard.
No.
As much as I want it to be Shepard's babies,
it is not.
They're not.
It is not.
They're not
babies.
them. And
probably some like secret 18.
I'm sure there'll be some branch off because I know there's story that has to do with the Alliance, and this particular group has ties to the original story.
Yes.
Extending out, but are they going to be relatable? Am I going to like them? Am I going to put them on too big of a pedestal? Are they going to live up to the original Mass Effect legacy?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is I'm not freaking out too much because my whole thing is, especially with Mass Effect, they've never really missed the mark on it because I think it's just so easy with how much lore and background there is, and I think what we are constantly keep getting drawn to with the characters, and I think even as a counterpoint for why Dragon Age kind of bored me, was like with these we have a bunch of alien creatures, and even as much lore as we've known after playing 3 games, and even for me, even reading a bunch of bonus comics and stuff like that, there's still so much to learn.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like there's still so much that they could, like we could talk to like PB, who's like the new Asari character that we're partnered up with, and she might bring up something about the new Asari race that even just might be different from 600 years later now, instead of mentally usually having most conversations like telepathically, or even because even the original games, that's how you were mostly intimate, was like connecting brains and like almost fusing them into one. But yeah, they might be a totally different thing now.
Yeah.
And they might even say like, oh, the Asari in the Milky Way galaxy were almost like heretics or something like that because of how they so mentally linked with other people or something. You know what I mean? Now obviously PB's a bad example for that because PB's definitely going to be way more fun. But just a perfect example though of just like where we totally got one side of something, they might go like no. Or even Vetra, for example, who's going to be the female Turian. She might be like, oh, you know, maybe you've only talked to like male Turians, but like female Turians are completely different.
Yeah.
There's only one born maybe every 1,000 years, and like, you know, it's some super crazy thing of like trying to keep myself alive and not get like, you know, they might, well, I don't want to go like super in depth there, but not get like raped by aliens every like 5 seconds or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might be interesting. There's so much. But anyway, like I said, I can make up a million stories, but I think that's the point. I think they have infinite access. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Stuff like that,
Yeah.
and to keep it interesting like that, and I think they recognize that. I think they recognize that so much that it's like we're dealing with aliens, we're dealing with made-up creatures. Just give them a flushed-out, thorough backstory, and also just give us that tad bit of knowledge of your people, so we can, you know, build upon that and not just be like, oh, this character is just cool because this. It's like, no, if I encounter another Asari, this is how I know they're set up and why they go about the way they go. And just like, oh, it's just cool. It puts you so much more into the world, even on a subconscious level, without you even thinking about it. Because even the next time you would interact with one of those types of characters or races, you know they're going to immediately even sound like this or act like this. Like even the Krogan are more brash and like barbarian, so like you know you're probably gonna have to get into like an intimidation fight or something before you even like get into the conversation, and like That's cool. I love that I even think about that before I even like talk to the character. And I think that really goes to show how well they are at setting up a lore and really going, you know what I mean, like in depth.
Yeah, they're great at setting up lore. I mean, even in Dragon Age, there's a lot, which I'm obviously more familiar with.
Yeah.
But they've always been good, and I think that's what attracts me to BioWare, which is, you know, unfortunate that I never did play 1 through 3, but even being an outsider to Mass Effect and being as excited as I am about Andromeda, just based off the fact that what I've seen them do with Dragon Age, especially 1 and 2, it's almost like starting over enough that I can now be invested in whatever they're going to do.
Well, that's exactly what we were talking about too. Of like, this is definitely a fresh start, and as bitter as it is for us to really close the door on it. I mean, I think it's going to be just as good. And if anything, too, I mean, here's the other point. Like, this could easily be another whole trilogy. So,
absolutely.
and it potentially, because obviously we don't know, but potentially how in depth this one goes already, and especially because they've already built a trilogy and have already learned from that, we might play this first game and go, yo, fuck the old series. Like, I want to build a new legacy because this one is already better than like all the previous 3.
And they've already said that they have enough content where if this game goes well and is received well, that they have 8 to 10 year plans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they could do anything. Yeah.
And this character is actually supposed to be young. Like they were comparing Shepard and how he was already a war hero going in. This one's a young. Well, I guess you can make him. He can look young. You can make him look older or younger.
But it is.
But he's supposed to be like
a younger,
kind of a no name.
Yes.
He's done some stuff, but not on the scale that Shepard did. So instead of you starting out with this incredible backstory legacy, you're actually making your own.
Yeah.
And not only making your own in a whole new place.
Mm-hmm.
Where people are gonna like revere you for your actions and everything. So.
Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, like in Mass Effect 1 especially, the whole thing was you kind of almost had to be for Shepard to put him in that you had to kind of be a decorated war hero because they kept fighting with the Council and everything like that for like humanity to be acknowledged as one of the main acknowledgeable alien races, if you will.
Yeah, some scrub coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the way it is.
Yeah,
believe me.
And exactly.
A guy with credibility.
Yeah, and with this one, I mean, you can definitely tell it's more of an attempt to, spread across the galaxy and flourish, And I think it's kind of, and this might be very different, but it might be more of an even playing field now because it seems like because of how far our out race is putting in scarce numbers, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, it's developed 600 years later.
Right.
So there might be, more Asari than any other. Like, Asari might be, like, the dominant alien race of the galaxy now. You know what I mean? So it just might be different. So humans might be, threatened or,
Correct me if I'm wrong. There are no humans, from what we
There
know.
are.
But I thought we were the humans that were going to Andromeda to find a new quote unquote Earth for us to live. The whole game is based off of us being the aliens.
Yes.
Kinda. The ships are actually mixed race. So there is multiple races on there.
On the ships, yes, but humans in general aren't necessarily found in Andromeda. I mean, this is based off of what I've heard from developer things and what the vibe that I'm getting that, humans are the aliens.
Yes, but that's not to say that there's still not going to be humans throughout.
Right.
But I get what you're saying. There's not the majority is not humans.
Right.
And that's what I'm even saying though, because like it just might be 100. It might be all of the alien races are just 25%. But you know what I mean. But it might be one clearly dominated over the other because of some reasons.
From some stuff that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just me speculating. Yeah. It looks like there was another initiative of like those ships that came in beforehand.
Oh, of Andromeda.
So we wouldn't be the first one.
Because when you go in there's clearly Krogan, Asari, and there's even human established like
right out of
have
the gate.
gangs there already, and like
Well,
they're cultured in with all these others already in certain areas. Way more than if you just start the game and you're all just arriving at the same time. So maybe some ships arrive before.
yeah,
Maybe by even like 50 years or
yeah,
something.
it's definitely not a get off the bus situation. Well, what I was just gonna say too was, and even because both you guys might be right, even in this sense, just thinking about it out loud, is it might be one of those setups where, you know, you are just kind of landing in this, you are kind of experiencing this galaxy, but maybe it is, yeah, say 100 years after this movement is clearly like, you know, flourished, but also we as the main characters for like, you know, the Ryder twins are trying to go further.
Yeah.
That might be it. So we might be trying to hit other planets on the outskirts of said galaxy to try to see if those are more human and adaptable, or, you know, what have you.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be very, and that's the other thing too. I really need to see, because we've seen so much information, but yeah, I would like to really see one clear, concise, like, beginning of the game, and just really get like that's one game. And I will say this, which sounds ignorant, but, you know, stick with me. I don't like watching a lot of, like, when a lot of people post like the first 30 minutes of gameplay.
They have that. I refuse to watch it.
See, I keep debating on it, and I'm not gonna watch it now because it's still a little too early.
Ugh.
But like I might, like, on the like 19th, I might just like check out. And I'm not gonna watch like everything, but just to get that at least initial like go in and just be like, okay, here's what I know what's happening. Now I get a better, you know, just so not when I pop the disc in and have kind of that, oh, that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? Just so I can get that like squirm moment out of the way.
Whereas me going in fresh, I'm just like, I don't want any spoilers for anything.
Oh, of course.
I don't want to see the
might as well
Sistine
start.
Chapel. I want to fly there, walk through the doors, and see it myself.
Yeah.
You know, that I completely agree with Jeremy. Actually, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Going into this, with knowing BioWare games and any other game that's kind of related to Mass Effect, but like, what do you expect out of this, and what do you want? And is this going to be like kids nowadays watching Star Wars 1, 2, and 3, and then going back and watching the old ones? Are you going to play this and then go back and play the old ones?
I see. I haven't decided yet. I keep sitting on the edge of that.
That's a good question.
Where I don't know if I ever want to play 1 through 3.
You
now.
should.
Yeah,
I definitely think
I was
that
like, just to get our
should.
answer, you probably should.
I definitely think that
I don't even know
I
who
should.
Luke is yet.
Fair enough. I definitely think that I should. The only reason that I might not want to is because I'm introducing myself to it through Andromeda, and 1 through 3 played such pivotal parts beforehand. I don't know if I just want to keep it as a clean slate going through Andromeda or not, but I do almost want to compare it to the Star Wars thing, where, you know, kids nowadays are like, oh cool, episode 7, and, you know, they like understand these characters. Like, yeah, that's kind of how it is, and that might be, like, you know, why I'm so excited for it. And the other thing too, I'm gonna age myself, but when Mass Effect 1 came out, it was what, 2006, 7?
Yeah, probably.
So I was in 6th grade. Like, that game did nothing for me.
Oh yeah, it didn't.
Like, I wasn't.
It was definitely
I was a kid. I wasn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I wasn't
I
like.
was such a goddamn nerd. Second I saw it, I was like, space.
Well, I
Space?
mean,
Space RPG?
at that age.
And that was unpopular though, because like I said, a lot of kids my age, yeah, same thing. Like when I bought it, kids were like, "Huh?" And I was like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah,
At the same time, I was also playing Disgaea turn-based RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, I was playing Digimon World in like 3rd grade. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was
well,
right there.
yeah, I was also killing all of my Digimon as well, having
that
them
was-
shit themselves to
right.
death.
That was
Yeah.
back on the news. They were actually calling Mass Effect a sex simulator.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
There was
It got huge
uproar.
controversy.
And I remember seeing a gentleman, I think it was on Fox. He was like, he was there to defend it, and this is during a time in gaming where it was a huge pivotal moment of like about the content in games.
Oh yeah,
and
that was like right,
children.
That was like right after
Yeah.
the whole like GTA wave of like games are evil.
But by then, ESRB ratings were like already well established at that point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And,
Well,
and the
they
guy
had
was
to be.
explaining like,
Yeah.
listen, this is a very, very, very small part of the game. It's literally like not even a minute of showing
as much
people being intimate.
Yeah.
And without showing.
It's like
too much
as much as you're seeing on TV. That is exactly how much is in this 80+ hour game.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead.
Paul. It makes it's
Yeah,
a good
no,
bring.
I was, yeah.
It's a good bring up.
Oh, man, wow. So long ago.
Yeah. For the record, though, let me say this. If you don't want to play through all three, that's fine. Obviously, it's your choice. Do what you want to.
I mean, however, I will say this before you continue. I will say this. I have read essentially not the synopsis of the games because it's impossible with the choices.
No, but I know what you mean.
But I've read up on the lore.
Yeah.
So the characters and the races that you are mentioning, I do know what they look like. I am
you know what's
familiar
going
with
on.
who they are.
Yeah.
And I've done that as part of research, mainly because I don't have the time to play like 1 through 3 before Andromeda.
No, no,
So-
that's impossible.
I tried.
I know you
failed.
tried.
I tried to. I'm like, I'll start at 2. And
that's
actually, a really cool
like
thing.
3 months of time, right
Yeah.
there.
I had it on the what was it? The early EA access.
Yeah, there you
and originally they didn't have my DLC from 360, so I gave up. And then a couple weeks
Well,
later,
because the DLC is amazing.
But by like a couple weeks later,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft I think wised up and they're like, "Oh, here's your DLC that you purchased
Yeah.
like years ago."
Yeah,
I'm like, yes, thank you. So I delved into 2, and last time I actually played 2 was with no DLC, no Shadow Broker, which you know what I'm talking about, which is apparently really good. And I still haven't touched it.
So good.
Which I'm
So
about to. So I couldn't get through it. I should have just started at 3 because I've gotten 75% way 3. Yes, you're hearing it now. I've not beaten 3,
Bum, bum, bum.
and I'm so upset about it. And there's a huge other story I'll talk about.
You know what's
later.
really funny though? Like you'd think you get more flack. A lot of Mass Effect diehard fans would probably actually say you're dodging a bullet. Like honestly, a lot of people would actually say that that's the dream. Yeah, like I said,
I'm less cynical. Like I can watch a shitty movie and be like, "That's great," even if it's cheesy. I don't care.
It's good for what it is, and like what for me was, I mean, so many people got pissed about the ending for it, but for me it was just like, yeah, it's a sci-fi thing about the galaxy and the world. Like
they want someone to live forever.
Yeah,
and
it's
sorry.
like, it is gonna have to be weird. I mean, at the end of the day, this dude is literally saving the universe. Yeah, it's gonna have to get pretty meta.
Great way to fucking go.
Yeah, but
first off,
yeah, but what I'm even oh yeah, of course. And then even so, like having that build-up story, but then it's like, yeah, by the end of the journey, it is gonna have to get pretty meta. And like that's where I think people got super pissed because it was like, no, it should just be like, why do they have to put like a god-esque figure in it? It's like, because at this point, like the Reapers are gonna wipe out the world, so like, there has to be some type of retroactive thing to fix it. It's like, who, I don't know what else they would have done, unless if they would have done that, Shepard just would have been like, oh, sorry, a bunch of people died.
Yeah.
But that's a way better ending. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
it's human sacrifice for the whole universe, or
greater good.
Well, we've got to find this like scientific solution behind it. Maybe we can just work together, and I stay alive for another 3 games. Fucking assholes. Sorry, that's rage.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say was, if you, because obviously you're not even gonna like look at one until you're done with Andromeda.
Oh god.
Correct.
And here's the thing. So
if I even ever get back that part.
Exactly. So here's what I was gonna say. So even if Andromeda super gets you in, which obviously I'm hoping gets like a bunch of new people in and fucking revitalize the entire series again.
I think it will.
I absolutely think it will. I have faith.
Remake, graphical upgrade.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Hands down.
But what I was gonna say was, if you are debating it, and you really are checking it out, just try one.
Okay.
Just try one, and if you're really feeling it in the first like 3 hours, because you got to give it an ample amount of time before you just go like yay or nay.
Yeah, it's a BioWare game.
Yeah, but once you give it that like really good initial push and you're into it, it is a fucking great ride. And like I said, me personally, it is overall, it's the best for me. But like I said, when you come into like story and character interaction, 2 beats it by a fucking mile. But there's enough in 1 to make it fucking rad as shit. And if that hooks you in still, then the entire
Well, I mean,
rest
my
of the
whole
ride's
thing
great.
is if a game has a good story, I'll play it.
That's
why,
awesome.
that's why I like
God.
Uncharted.
Well,
That's
if
why I
any-
like Kingdom Hearts. That's
I'm
why I
telling
like
you, dude,
all this.
Any
That's-
game's telling
that's
a good story.
Yeah.
Man, Mass Effect, and coming from someone who doesn't complete things in his life, have a very hard time completing shit.
Yes.
Mass Effect was one of the only games that captivated me and kept me in.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
which is saying something. It really is, and that's. I would hope you at some point delve into the first 3 games at some point. Don't spoil yourself too much with Andromeda, because the first one's going to be a slow ride.
Yeah, it is definitely. It is. No, it is definitely slower.
Great story.
It's
but
more
slow.
diplomatic. The conversations are way more. There's a lot more weight getting thrown around per conversation because, like I said, because it is the human race trying to prove that they're a part of this higher intelligence being of this set of alien council. But because so it is very diplomatic at a lot of points. So there is a lot of back and forth, but it is not as diplomatic and as trivial as. Like going back to it, like how the first 3 episodes of Star Wars was, where it's just like diplomatic conversation and metachlorines and all this bullshit, and you're just like, fuck this noise.
Just one piece of advice, and you don't know what this is now. Kill Caden because he's just pointless.
Okay.
Just kill Caden.
Oh yeah, obviously,
Fuck
as
Caden.
as men, as just typical heterosexual male. Yeah,
You'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, obviously, as a heterosexual male, you just want to bang Ashley. Like, right out the gate. Because that's your choice. You're like, oh, a woman I could have sex with.
No.
Or this dude.
Liara.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Sorry, Liara, because that's new and exciting.
Yeah.
That's some extraterrestrial poon.
Oh, well, by the
Can I
way.
say
Well, by the way, yes, yeah.
That's big poon. Poontang.
Well, now it's already. Now you clearly broke the censor barrier on it. You're good. You're
I'm
good.
the first.
No, but I will. Yeah, that is very true. Yeah.
By the way,
definitely.
this episode is called Pupils and Vaginas.
They have no idea.
No, but once,
no idea what this
once they introduced Liara into it, she was the one I hooked up with, hands down.
Every time. I hate Ashley, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ashley's a super bitch. Yeah.
Man.
Cause she's like half kind of alien racist too. You find that out pretty early.
She's this all alliance.
Yes.
I was gonna make a political.
No.
comparison. I can't do this here.
Yeah, let's not do it here.
No.
Not the place.
She's a bitch. That's it.
Every fiber you're being, I could the words showed on your face,
Yep.
and it was just like you were just like, nope, low road, bitch. There you go.
She's
gosh.
she's all America. How about that?
Yeah, yes. Very, very
And now-
very earth pride.
And now we're
Yeah.
moving on walls. Maybe she's trying to build a wall.
Yeah. So anyway, so we've went into story. We talked about story. Went over characters.
Yes.
Was there really anything else going through?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I guess this would be like kind of like last point because I know you guys want to trail off and do some other things. This is going to be very similar to how the first one is, as far as
Build
the first one actually had armor that you can find. And
Oh, okay.
okay.
Like collectibles.
The second and the third one, from anyone who's played Mass Effect, was the only one you had kind of. You can go and buy armor from vendors, but like primarily you had a full suit and it had abilities and percentages that it boosted certain stats and it was very linear. It's like,
very progressive. You
this is
beat
how it
this
is.
map, you got this armor, or you can
Okay.
now buy this armor at this shop after you beat this set planet.
But the first one, as not, there wasn't a whole lot of variety in armor, but there was like different armors that you can get, and it felt more RPG like.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
And they kind of trade off, and once EA took over from the second one to the third one, it was definitely a little bit easier to get in for the casual gamer. This is delving way far from that, which is awesome because if you like an in-depth RPG where you can customize your character and his abilities, which they emphasize a lot. And we'll
In
touch
this
a little,
one, yeah.
We'll touch
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit more because you
yeah.
can interchange your abilities at any time and forget anything at any time.
It's bananas.
So you can play all
your loadout and abilities. You can now change on the fly on a
in
wheel.
between missions.
So literally, so say your one cool video I saw for gameplay was, so you're about to essentially raid this whole building, and right out of the gate you have to kill a bunch of people. Like the mission's already set. So right out of the gate you have a sniper rifle. The dude takes out the 2 dudes at the front door, starts running, puts on the ability for like higher up sprint, starts sprinting to the building. A bunch of dudes pour out of the building. The dude changes his weapon loadout, puts up instant cover and an assault rifle, starts gunning them down, then loses about like 5 more people drop. He hops over his made up cover, starts running even closer. More people start pouring out, but at this point he's at the entranceway, flips to his third loadout, which is a flamethrower, and just starts torching people at the entrance to just like bombard it. This happens in a matter of like 30 seconds. You're just watching all this shit go down, and this dude's just going like effortless, like it's some awesome epic run-up action movie. Like, oh, it's so sick. That's one thing I will say too, with how combat heavy Mass Effect 3 was. This one definitely seems as combat heavy, but definitely improvements to combat, which is exactly what I wanted to see.
Absolutely. So. And as far as that's concerned, like being able to, because in the first one, if you ever go back and play it, Jeremy, the first one you were in, the second one you literally pick your class, and I think the third one as well.
Yeah.
You pick your class.
You're right. Yeah.
And you were confined to those abilities. Now there was a little bit of exchanging of extra abilities in the second one that you can kind of delve in and kind of forget stuff and then relearn, but not enough. This is literally, I can be a biotic, and then next mission I'm a vanguard. You know, which that'll make a little bit more sense. And if you delve more into those abilities in this one, you'll actually start getting perks now. So they're introducing perks for delving certain amount of abilities. So if you favor one,
committing into a certain role.
Yeah, so if you favor it, you'll get more bonuses.
Yeah. So if you want to be like a soldier and you more focus on like the weapons and stuff like that, there's more abilities, even passive abilities now that'll cater to your weapon loadout, or increased ammo, or better sprinting, or like longer endurance or something like that. Whereas opposed to biotics, they might give you more passive health charge for regens, for health or something like that. Or if you're a vanguard, they might give you more natural health, or better aggro control, or something like that. So I think that is pretty cool if they do that.
Yeah. And a first.
Yes.
An absolute first.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, I think you're talking about just like that setup.
Crafting.
Yes.
And material gathering, which is a huge part of like any RPG or MMO. And absolute first. So I'm super excited. This delves into the adventuring and the planets we're going to be able to explore, and the places we can actually just get lost and go and find abilities. So not only can you find abilities from, I don't know if there's going to be like mining. I don't know if it's going to be like that trivial, but it's definitely scavenging.
Yeah.
And stealing.
Yes.
And like you're literally
stealing's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out as far as these materials and how am I going to make them and work them to my benefit along with my abilities. And that's probably one of the things I'm most excited about, aside from like story and characters and everything, is the raw gameplay.
Also, another thing too, because I heard about them talk about this, because I was actually pretty interested, and I think it was last week, I saw a couple articles post, they're getting rid of the paradigm. So now there's no solely good nor bad. It's just you are going to gain experiences, and characters are still heavily, like, just as much affected by what you're doing. They're just not having a Fable-esque appearance to it now and stuff like that, which I thought was very interesting.
Just your relationships between person to person, situation to situation.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I fucked this guy.
And also, too, like, and also, too, though, like, if you have murdered, like, say, like, you know, in this one, like, say, though, if you did, like, shoot someone on, like, a live TV or something, and then people are like, oh my god, like, you monster, like, people would still say that. There's just not a bar now, and you just don't have glowing cartoon red eyes, God forbid, if you're, like, an evil villain. That's pretty much, because that's what they just set it up as. And also, too, it's like, they got very frustrated by that, because it's like, they even said, too, like, once you kind of locked yourself into a role, it was impossible to get yourself out of it. Because once you're the really good guy...
There was a point of no return. There's a limited amount of missions and choices.
And also, the very annoying part, too, was, like, it's very one-sided. Because if you're bad, it's really easy to just stay bad. But if you're really good, you just have to kill one guy to, like, fuck up almost your whole paradigm. You know what I mean? So that's why they said, even for the characters you have now, there might be 3 choices where there's people that you gun down, but there might be just one story that touches you just enough to, like, protect them and keep them going. And they think that that's more of a fleshed out character than at that moment, if they just went, "Oh, you're a bad guy and you shot 3 other people, you're probably just gonna shoot me anyway, so I'm gonna shoot you first." Instead of
That'd
having
actually be
that.
kind of cool.
Exactly. That's yeah. But instead
does
of
suck.
exactly, yeah. But
Yeah.
instead of having that whole concept, they make your character more flushed out because they still, no matter what previous decisions you've made, you can always either start anew. It's just like you said too. That I think Andromeda's secret word in this one is fresh. Everything's gonna be fresh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then just like you said too, with the even the shifting of, like a Biotic or Vanguard or something like that.
Yeah.
Even every time you approach a mission, you might this time be the support healer that has a heart of gold, or in
Yeah.
the next. And it's too. It goes by planet. You might not be known really across the galaxy because you don't have that big of a reputation this time. So yeah, you could be a total asshat on one planet and fuck over the whole planet, but on the next one, who knows? Whole new setup. You could be the greatest fucking hero of the planet and save the goddamn generation of lives. You know what I mean? Like that I think is even cooler than because it even puts you in such a new scope every time
Yeah.
you're doing something. I think that's it's new.
It's gonna add a lot.
It adds a lot and gives you so much more dynamic without you either having to start a new playthrough or pick up Andromeda 2. You know what I
Right.
mean? I think that's really cool. So yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, but I did want to ask actually too, going off because at this point we're pretty much just talking about Mass Effect for how long we've been going. But I do want to say because you were talking about conspiracy theories, I would love to know one of your like storyline conspiracy theories.
Oh
you were talking
god.
about
Okay,
before.
so this isn't really
that's
mine.
fine.
This is just ones that
Yeah,
I've
that's
read
cool.
up on.
Let's just go down the
this
rabbit hole.
clearly has Cerberus written all over it.
Oh yeah.
First off, especially this is me finding out from you, Jeremy, which is never fucking played one.
Yeah.
It blows my
Yeah.
mind. Oh, this happens actually between 2 and 3. Who is the major character in 2 that's affecting Shepard's
Lucid
storyline?
Man, yeah.
The
Lucid
Lucid-
Man with Cerberus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and who has the funding to do something like this? Because first off,
Yep.
there's a lot of things that suggest that the Alliance is not prepared to do that because they're unprepared for the fight ahead, regardless.
Well, they're already unprepared because they're even just trying to establish dominance still with the Council and the Milky Way. They don't have
Exactly.
time to spread more people out.
Exactly. So who has the funding to do that, and who cares about the human race, and who has finally turned the tides and allowing aliens to kind of be a part of what they're doing?
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
in the second one, it screams nothing more than Cerberus
Yeah.
funding a mission like
Yeah.
this.
And plus, too, they were way more, almost two, they kind of did their own mission anyway.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter if even the galaxy was like, no, don't send other people out there. They'd be like, fuck you, we're a goddamn cell phone company. We'll do whatever the hell we want.
Exactly. So I felt like they already had this, what is it called, the Andromeda Initiative,
Mm-hmm.
in the back end. And I still have to look and see if there's anything else that might have been suggested.
Oh, I definitely. Well, and also, too, they might.
A lot of Cerberus missions.
Well, and also, too, they might flip the script on this whole thing, so we might be making decisions, but just like you said, they might be introducing Cerberus, and by the end of the game, you might have to make a decision of, Cerberus's goal, or, Andromeda, in air
Yeah.
quotes, goal, is, to activate this one pillar. But you realize through playing the game that you've actually technically been with the bad organization this whole time. So once you kind of get into it, you'll be like, oh, wait, am I actually making the right choice? Just because, they said for the greater good, is this actually the better decision?
Yeah.
So that might be a thing, too. It might be activate this pillar to quote-unquote save humanity, but at the expense of maybe killing a bunch of other races or something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I just think this was always meant to be Andromeda, and I hate to say it, it's Plan B. It was Plan B.
Oh, yeah.
Shepard was meant to try and save
Mm-hmm.
the Milky Way.
Yeah.
He was there but if he failed,
Yeah, this
we have
this was the backup. Yeah,
Andromeda
but same
Initiative.
thing. That's why it definitely feels like it's a Cerberus move because
Yeah.
Elusive Man put his faith in Shepard, but at the same time, there was a lot of untrust there from
Yeah.
even day one. So
If it isn't, I'll shit. Honestly, I'll be like, who did this?
Yeah.
Who? I mean,
yeah, that even more importantly, unless I would be,
which
a
would
little
branch
mad.
off another storyline. That'd be
Exactly.
interesting, I'm sure. But
Yep.
man, if it wasn't Cerberus funded,
No, but I'd even be the same way because I think that's such a great idea too because then that screams even so much more questions and I think that's the whole thing
Yeah.
you need with Mass Effect is just even bring up and even too they could even go through this whole game and not even really bring it up. That might even be a last end credit scene of just so what's our next Andromeda Initiative going to be? No, we have to go back to our original title and then just like at the end, like flip it to Cerberus, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like,
Lucid
they, like,
Man and a hologram.
Yeah, exactly.
In his chair, just still puffing.
Or just like now he's in like a cyborg
He's an
body
AI.
because his AI transferred.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude.
Stop.
They might. They very well might.
God.
Yep, they very well might.
Oh my.
There's a lot of stuff, dude, and that's the whole thing. That's why I love about
There's
the
another
franchise.
hour.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just down the rabbit hole of what have you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a whole. I'm like I said. I mean, even the more we talk about it, I only feel better about it.
Yes.
That's rare for a game. For me especially, I'm very like if we talk about a game that's even partially iffy, I usually beat it up before I give it compliments.
Yep.
Mass Effect is the opposite. I have way more faith just because of the lore. They have such A+ material. It takes more effort to fuck it up than make it good. You know what I mean? Like it takes more effort for them to bomb the game and screw up the franchise than it does to just go, oh, here's the lore, and then just put it on a plate. Like, you know what I mean? That's really all they have to do. I'm not trying to downplay because the game obviously takes like, you know, a massive amount of time, effort, and, you know, story building. But
And the other pleasing thing is that they've said they've been working on Andromeda now for 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
So 5 years is a lot of time to dedicate
establish
to
everything.
one game,
Yeah.
and they already had the lore established, so they just needed to play off of it. So 5 years of ideas is incredibly promising.
Well, and the fantastic thing too is like
Bethesda.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's like Bethesda's
exactly.
work, man.
But
always turns out great.
Yeah, but what's even more important, which I really love about this too, is like we haven't heard, which, you know, every fucking game that comes out with this concept has done, which Mass Effect is not, you know, knock on said table, has not even rumored to talk about any partial delay. The game never got delayed. The game set a date finally and locked in.
That was the good thing. They never set a date.
Exactly.
It took them forever to set the date, which is what we needed.
And they didn't even bring it up, though, immediately. Like,
Right.
Mass Effect 3, it was 3 years before I even think anyone even brought up.
2011.
Yeah.
2011.
Everybody kind of
2011
assumed that there wouldn't be another Mass Effect.
Exactly. We thought it was over.
Yeah, and then, 2 years ago we got the announcement?
That's what I'm saying.
So it was 4 years between the release and an announcement of even another one.
Yeah.
Which is why this game is so huge.
Yeah, but that's what, it's all good. I'm very looking forward to it. Yeah, I definitely think. Well, let me say it this way. I'm very excited to play it, check it out, and I'm even more excited for us to shoot the shit about it again when we have a post one, because we definitely need to do this one again and talk about ideas and what have you.
We don't need to go too far into this because I know we want to kind of move on from Mass Effect.
That's
I
fine.
have not seen anything on multiplayer. Because 3 had multiplayer.
Well, no, this
I
one
actually really liked
This
it.
one is definitely having multiplayer.
Yes.
They is 100% confirmed.
Yep.
What I don't know is it like horde mode like they did in 3, or is it actually like player versus player, 16 player brawl?
I think the first one's probably a definite.
Yeah.
But I also secretly hoped, and this is just wishful thinking, is that maybe we can play a companion and follow along while in someone's game. That's probably not true.
Co-op?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It's probably not true.
Yeah, for this one it doesn't seem like it because they already talked about it like it's multiplayer matches, not online cooperative.
Right.
That would be interesting to actually have
That'd be
competitive play instead of co-op. But I'm kind of nervous. Maybe with the gameplay that of how it used to be versus now, because there's a lot more movement.
Yeah.
That it's possible.
Yes.
But there's still a lot of abilities I think that can be exploited. And that's something I'm nervous about. But I'm confident that it's going to be still fresh and new and exciting.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And if
100%.
I'm going to get my ass kicked and be happy in any game, it's going to be that one.
Yeah, and also, and here's the thing too. I mean, yet again, it's like I'm assuming they are having a pretty solid team work on the multiplayer.
Yeah.
But yet again, it's like one of those games where it's like if I never play the multiplayer, I'm not going to feel that bad about it.
Well, I mean,
and I'm going to check it out. But
That's like what it is with Uncharted. Like, Uncharted is one of my favorite games of all time.
You
I've
don't need
never
to play
played
the-
the multiplayer.
Yeah, you don't.
And I don't need to.
Well,
because the game is good enough without it.
Going on a different standpoint, though, Last of Us has
Yes.
really good multiplayer.
Absolutely.
Has
But
a
I'll still never
multiplayer.
play.
Exactly. No, it really does.
Multiplayer.
It does. See,
I played very little of that game. First
Yeah.
off, never played a game and cried the first 2 minutes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that game forces you to.
But the combat was so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm regretful to say that I didn't complete it.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
You should at some point.
We
You two with Mass Effect.
you and me were a whole different riff of
Yes.
yeah.
Maybe
Potential part two.
complete different tangent here at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have Ian over and do a
live stream.
live stream of us playing through Last of Us.
Oh. I don't know how that's gonna play.
All three of us would just sit here.
No. I'm not worried about how we're gonna mechanic. I don't know how well Sony is with cinematic live streams.
Oh,
They cut a
you're right.
lot. I don't know how it's gonna be with
That's
Last
true.
of Us. But some of it is during gameplay.
Some of it is.
I
yes.
don't know.
Well, at the same time, though, most of the people that have played Last of Us have finished it.
Yeah.
So we'll have Ian sit here with us.
Well,
and watch
the
it.
better part is we definitely. So we'll have to do it with a camera.
Yes.
And the better part is I would almost even like it if they cut the entire feed during the cutscene. So then it would just be a cutscene cut back to us going like, "Yep, we knew it was sad." Ian's just bawling. It's just like Sony has not put out this cutscene for direct, and it just cuts back in. Why? Just oh gosh, I feel like that'd even be so incidentally funnier. But no, yeah, we should definitely collaborate more, Ian.
Yes.
We had fun. This was good.
I absolutely agree.
This was good. We'll have you.
It's not over yet.
Oh, it's not.
No.
We're talking about more.
Yeah.
What
I
else we going
I
to?
have two questions for Ian before he leaves.
Okay. Ooh.
First question.
This is a surprise to me and Ian, by the way. We were not prepared for this.
Okay.
Jeremy's throwing us a last minute
No,
monkey.
you were kind of prepared.
Oh,
No,
okay.
First question is, what did you think of Logan?
Oh God. I was right next to you.
And you were right next to me, and we were both crying.
I don't know about that, but I was holding your hand tightly.
So hold on,
Yes.
hold on.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, freeze frame. Are we doing spoilers or are we not saying
No,
spoilers?
still stay away from spoilers. It's only the second weekend in theaters.
Thank you for
So-
saying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I was like,
Yeah.
the second he starts his answer with, I really hated when. Well, can I say one thing? Sorry. I
please,
just wanted
please.
to inject your one thing and then please, because it was your question.
Okay.
The one thing I did really love is the tie-in that they redid based off the quote from the Wolverine
Yes. Yes.
and referenced it back into Logan. I thought
Yep.
that was so cool.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to shut the fuck up. Anyway, continue off here.
So, how can I say this without spoilers?
Just
Okay, so how
Were
about
you
this?
pleased?
Just how did you feel?
If any superhero out of any, it doesn't matter, DC, Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I should say primarily Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
because Marvel's usually happy-go-lucky for the most part.
Well, that doesn't make better
Kind
goddamn
of.
superhero movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Shots
Well,
fired. I'm just saying.
if any superhero is gonna have a movie like this, it had to be him. It absolutely had to be him.
Logan
Yes.
was a good
And
one. to do it.
it felt.
Also, with how much cinematic depth he's had.
Yes.
With Hugh Jackman's already had with the character.
17 years.
Yeah.
It
that's
felt
what I'm
so right. Exactly. I mean,
Mhm.
longest running superhero of one character
Yep. 9
of all
films,
time.
17 years.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I don't think in the future that will ever be topped. Honestly, just because it was done first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what an awesome actor, and to watch him grow through it. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that I haven't seen Apocalypse, but
That's okay.
that's okay because I've
didn't
seen
miss-
all the really
You didn't
important
miss
parts.
much of
Yeah,
Wolverine
miss
in Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I've been explained to exactly his part in that,
Yeah.
but
Like
it's
Days
still,
of Future Past and stuff's more important.
which is another movie I think I wasn't paying too much attention to. But
Yeah.
as far as this movie, it felt right.
Yeah.
In almost every aspect. It was funny in the aspects it needed to be. And it was sad when it needed to be. And they all tie together so beautifully, and I can't really explain anymore else other than that. Then it's
think it was-
done so well.
I think it was just very real.
Yes.
And I
It didn't feel like someone was invincible the whole time, like most superhero movies. You're like, oh wow,
oh yeah, it's
you know,
very
it's just like every battle he's just gonna come
So
through it.
grounded.
You know, it was a struggle.
yeah,
and that's the thing.
so grounded from from a
He was
character
a real person.
from a character you've seen practically be immortal.
Yeah. Get shot in
To-
the head and
to-
still live.
Yeah, to literally get throughout the entire movie just whittled down. Every battle you can
You can see it.
visibly notice on the character.
In the psyche
The
behind
wound
it, too.
exactly, like the wounds cut through more than just, especially more than even just
Felt
the character's
every
body.
single
yeah.
one.
Yeah. It's oh man. And I think that's the thing too. I mean, it made it so much more because even every part of the fight, I mean, like, your fights, should I say. One more important thing that I think was a lot more subtle, kind of branching off that, was like, you know, in every fight, Wolverine always recovered. So you know, in every X-Men movie or anything, you know, or even for any superhero movie, honestly, for that matter, that had any type of regenerating or Superman-esque character, they got a big hit, you know it's a big hit. But in the back of your mind, you go, it's cool. They're going to regenerate or heal or
Couple
not
scenes,
die.
boom,
Not that bad.
cool.
But the second you know, right out of the gate in this one, that, I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, but feel free to, like, shoot me down if I start, like, going really bad spoiler-wise. He definitely starts, like, his age clearly matters.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me say that.
Yes.
His age is clearly mattering, and things are not going as well. His recovery is not recovering as well.
Clearly gray.
That's all I'm going to say there, and there's more in depth, but obviously watch the movie.
Yes.
But
If you've ever read Old Man Logan,
exactly,
you understand
know
what
what's
we're
happening.
talking about.
You know what's happening. But every battle and every hit, you feel so much more because you know this isn't an instant recovery thing anymore.
It's hurting.
Right.
It's every
hurt.
move, and he's I mean, like, just in general, the movie is extremely bloody and gory and very violent, and it's just one of those things where, I mean, he's not just getting. It's not just like, oh, that one punch really messed him up. It's like, no, multiple wounds, multiple fatal wounds that would have killed anybody, and you're just seeing him walk through that, and it's just like. And he's not instantly healing through them. So you're just seeing these wounds carry through. And even they're not even fully healed into another battle and another one. And it's just like, it's just crazy. It's such a journey. And it just really bothers me that, like, for me personally, it upsets me as a whole that, like, we don't see more movies do this.
Yeah.
Well,
let me say this too, going off of that.
Sure.
So, I just said a couple seconds ago that if you haven't read Old Man Logan, you know, or if you did, you understood what we meant.
Mm-hmm.
So never have I experienced, especially with superheroes and comics, where a counterpart was put out, something was put out, which was adapted so quickly.
Yes.
Like, Old Man Logan came out 2015. It's March 2017, and there's a movie of it. Very
practically.
Yeah, I mean, very influenced by it.
Yes.
Influenced by that. Influenced by X-23. Influenced by a number of other ones. But I mean, if you've read Old Man Logan, you almost know how this movie plays out. And
yes.
I've never
From reading it, it's
seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
It goes so quickly, especially with the superhero stuff. Because I mean, we just got Civil War, which. You know, that definitely had a build up to it. But Civil War came out how long ago?
Well, also, I will say, as well, though, to a mini counterpoint there, Civil War also made very direct tie-ins to Civil War 2.
Yes.
Which literally was coming out with comics. That, I mean, 4 months before?
At the same time, though, Civil War 2 was also kind of influenced by the script of Civil War.
Exactly.
The movie.
Yes.
So they kind of played off of each other.
That's what I'm saying. They play off each other,
Yeah.
but then almost in the same aspect there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's just that kind of stuff blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this kind of like, I mean, bringing up a different movie entirely, but just from, I still think personally, out of comic books relating to movies, I still personally think Watchmen is by far my number one favorite.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
I mean, you can,
Where's that sequel?
they have enough material. They have enough material with the pre-Watchmen.
Probably like the
stuff.
first mature superhero movie, like not majorly one, but
I mean, for me, it was definitely the first gritty, humanizing.
Yeah.
Especially humanizing. I mean, you put a bunch of people in an older time where people were, you know, let's be honest, just a bit more ignorant. And, you know, that's good and bad. But, you know, you put a bunch of people in an older time period with a more headstrong mindset, and you give them, you know, partial superpowers, and, you know, you build them up as icons, and you just see people. I mean, they go down like celebrities and shit, and they have really fucked up moments, and you know, there's certain characters that, you know, some people, they're so complex, some people look at them and be like, you know, after watching one character do 3 things, you'd be, oh, that character's completely unredeemable, there's nothing redeemable about him. But other characters other people would look at it and be like, no, there's always room for redemption, or there's always a chance, or we don't know their full story, you know what I mean? I love stuff like that, and Logan dabbled on that a bit, where you had you know, and Logan is definitely a bit though different, so that's why I don't want to make a direct comparison by any stretch, but you know, because Logan was way more of a self-reflection of his past and how he's lived his life.
Yeah.
Rather than, you know what I mean? So it is very different in that aspect, but no, it's still great. Like I said, it just really bothers me because you see this one done so well, and it's just like, why the fuck couldn't four other movies easily just pull this off? And it wasn't, you know, and I don't think this is too big of a spoiler. Nothing crazy, like, there's no amazing supernatural being like a Thanos character didn't drop down from the fucking sky and start
There was no war in New York.
Exactly. And look at how good it was.
Yeah.
Look at how good it was having just really one character.
It was a very small scope story.
It didn't take like you said, like some supernatural being really to bring like
the moments.
Difficulty. It was just like even the simplest of tasks were becoming more and more difficult for someone who was that great.
Well, even just him, just even a subtle thing was even Logan walking. Yeah. You see him walk through the whole movie, and he is getting worse with even just like limping and just getting around other spots. Like even just walking for him is, I mean, obviously he's older, but just even in general, it's clearly becoming an issue. So
yeah.
You know, and not to say that the movie didn't have a gigantic budget. I don't know what the budget on this movie was, but if you watch this movie, you don't think this movie has the same budget as like Avengers or something like that.
Exactly.
And that is pleasing to me. Like Deadpool didn't have that great of a budget either, but that's because 20th Century Fox, they thought Deadpool was going to fail. They weren't expecting Deadpool to be a big movie.
Oh, it killed it.
So,
crushed it.
You know, on that aspect, like Logan watching this movie, feeling so grounded and feeling so real was great.
It bothers me though too, because and Fox as well. Like I expected to be disappointed because it's Fox, but they surprised me with it.
Fox disappointed me yesterday or the day before. So they have Legion, which is a TV show.
Yep.
Right. Does not tie into the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Well, they just shared the cast photo of the X-Men TV show that does now tie into the X-Men universe. So we now have a show that has nothing to do with the movies and a show that does have something to do with the movies, both on Fox networks on TV that aren't related to each other either.
That's M. Night Shyamalan show.
Hold on. This is new to me. They're doing an X-Men TV show?
Yes, there's an X-Men TV show. And it is in the same universe as the movies. It'll be on Fox, whereas Legion is on FX. It is another X-Men TV show. Bryan Singer does have something to do with that as well.
Do we know details on this? Do we know details on like when or what or
we know
how?
the cast photo. We know that Bryan Singer is directly involved in it.
Is there people from previous X-Men movies in this cast, or is it a whole new cast?
It's a whole new cast.
Huh.
However, there will be people that have been mentioned in the movies appearing in this show. We have no idea.
Wait, but are these like new characters? This isn't like Wolverine and Jean Grey and Cyclops.
Right, correct. They're all new.
Got it. Okay, so this is going to be like
essentially it's a new
Xavier's
class.
Academy.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. Because like, as you were bringing this up, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I was like,
but it still fits into the universe. So
nice.
It's like how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fits into the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
It's the same aspect.
Okay.
But now Fox also has a TV show, Legion, on FX, that is an X-Men show that has nothing to do with the movies.
See, but okay, this sounds fucked up, but I could understand that only because
I just don't get the point at that. At that point, I don't understand.
Well, here's why.
Totally with that.
Well, here's why, and I don't agree with this. I'm just saying is like to understand the point. I think with Legion, they intentionally are doing that because they don't want it to be like. It is clearly. I'm not trying to sound ignorant. It is clearly a comic book show.
Yes.
But I don't think they're trying to get that across to people.
Sure.
I think they want it to just be one of those kind of newer shows of like, yeah, Marvel's on the head logo for it, but no. Like this is just a really cool, crazy, mind-bending show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think it's one of those shows where they're trying to more appeal it to the masses. Because, I mean, like, I'm sorry for saying this, but I just feel like it's more honest. You don't get a lot of people watching Luke Cage or Jessica Jones that aren't Marvel fans.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, everybody watched Daredevil.
Exactly.
Everyone, will watch it.
Yeah. But I will say this, though, because I don't want to sound dumb with this either. Yeah. You will definitely get people, though, who have not read a Luke Cage comic ever, who are watching Luke Cage and get into it because they don't want to take the time to read the comics, but this is a great introduction.
And at the same time, I mean, using Luke Cage as an example, Luke Cage was a very grounded, very real show that
yeah.
didn't really have a whole lot to do with superheroes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
at all.
Exactly. I think that's what made it go so well. At least to start out.
And even Jessica Jones almost at the same time. That was a very grounded show.
Yeah. Grounded, supernatural-esque.
Yes,
but very
still
grounded in concepts. Because yet again, those are shows where those are people throughout their entire setup not wearing costumes.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're human beings first and foremost, and throughout the entire journey. You know what I mean? That's where Daredevil you get a little more. Yeah, they're wearing costumes and stuff, and that's why a lot more scenes are a bit more theatrical, if you will. You know what I mean? That doesn't make the performance or the mood any worse. If anything, sometimes it amplifies it because it's more high stakes because you know when the costume's coming on, you know shit's gonna go down.
Yeah.
Or if the costume's not on and shit starts happening, you go, oh fuck, the character's thrown off. Like this isn't, you know what I mean? That's an easier way to introduce that theme into it. But yeah, I think with Legion, I think they're just trying to go a different route and see how it goes. And it sounds really shitty to say this, but like, let me say it this way, because I've read a lot of Legion comics. I love Legion. I love Legion as a comic book character. The second I saw his trailer, I already didn't like it.
Yep.
I don't like where they're going. I don't like where they're starting. I don't even like how they're getting him introduced even to his own I think it's all bad. So, you know what? I'm glad they're already not tying it.
Yep.
You want to do this weird supernatural dude trying to figure out his own shit and become a better person? Cool, but that's never what Legion even was to begin with.
Right.
So fine, do your own fucking thing.
I just wish that they would market it then as not an X-Men show.
I just wish they wouldn't call it Legion.
Yeah.
I just wish they would say it's based off the Legion comics and call it like X.
Yeah.
Or something. You know what I mean?
But not say, hey, we have 2 X-Men TV shows now that don't relate to each other, and one relates to a movie and one doesn't.
Well, hey,
I mean, it's almost as bad as DC doing, hey, we have a Flash TV show and a Flash movie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
First off, okay, and I'm going to interject finally because I'm kind of with Jeremy on this one as far as like, why make a show, make us love a character, do a good job, but then not include him in a movie?
Yep.
Like, they're already delved into the character for years.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them been playing these parts for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I mean, Arrow is
know how to
ending
play
season
them.
5 this
Yeah,
month.
exactly. So why do we need to get someone and be like, all right, boom, you have 3 months, learn this character, read this script.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really
And then
silly.
we're going to compare them, and we're going to say that the movie one's better because it's a better budget.
Well, I was just going to say, what it really does, and it's fucked up, by the way, this isn't cool at all, but what it really says is, like, right out the gate, it immediately limits TV characters for movie actors, and you literally establish that right out the gate. Like, you could tell DC draws a fat fucking line in the middle and goes, nope, you are a TV fucking character. You are not a movie character. It does not matter. We can make 13 Flash movies. You are not going to be in a single one.
So Fox is the only one that we can be like, we've taken a PG-13 movie, we can take a character that is not that gory, and we can just turn it, like, I would love to see, like, we have our TV character and how they operate, but I would like to see them in, like, a mature film. We're like, let's see them get gritty. Let's see them, like, get down and dirty, like, it doesn't have to be all the time. Just see them break down, like, see them in a very, very serious, realistic role of, like, how, Logan was. Like, of course, he's been gritty. He's been in PG-13. He's seen people get stabbed, but not at this level.
Oh, no, not
and
nearly.
We see it can be done. It can be done well. So stop recasting people. If it works,
it works.
Don't change it. You don't need to change it, and you don't need to pay someone else to do it. You already have them.
And also, let me say this, too. So, I don't think that there are plans to recast Wolverine. I think a lot of people would be upset with the idea of recasting Wolverine.
Well, Hugh Jackman's already talked about, and multiple people have said, if anyone is going to recast Wolverine, wow, I'm literally calling him Wolverine at this point. Hugh Jackman literally is a part of the process. Yes.
So,
he's the
seeing all this happen. Seeing all this happen, and even like Patrick Stewart not doing Professor X after this.
Yep.
Seeing these two happen.
Sorry. Let me just say this real quick too, by the way, because they have said that they're practically done.
Yes.
Technically, they could still do more.
Yes.
Let's not close the door on it entirely, but they have definitely said that this was a perfect closing point.
Yes, and Hugh Jackman said that the only way he'll do it is if they put him in the Marvel Universe and he gets to be with the Avengers.
Exactly.
And
stop.
Patrick Stewart
God
is not completely closed off to the idea of making a guest appearance on this X-Men TV show.
Yeah.
Which would definitely be cool.
But he even said too, if Hugh Jackman's like been out of it, he mostly enjoys doing it with Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
That's like his
point. Which
yeah.
is why they work so well together.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was saying. I don't remember at all.
We will explain later.
You were talking about the characters. We were talking about recasting.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I think that the inevitable point in time when Robert Downey Jr. is no longer going to be Iron Man, it's going to be...
Which apparently
he made a full turnaround on that, I thought.
Not necessarily.
He kind of was... I think he said that a few years back, and then
he
was kind of like...
made it sound like he was dipping out after Infinity War. That was the whole rumor.
Yes.
Because let me say it this way. Because the whole thing was with Chris Evans ending the contract or whatever after Infinity War. Then it was looked on Junior. And then Junior at least said jokingly, which of course people took out of context, he jokingly said, well, I don't know how I would do another Avengers movie without Chris.
Right.
And then people took it as, oh, then he's definitely quitting, when that's not necessarily the truth.
But now I see the inevitable them leaving
and then
being
Strange
easier.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah.
It's going to be a lot easier because if we've had Wolverine,
but it's still fucked up.
Yeah, but and they might not recast them. They might say, Sebastian Stan might just be Captain America.
Yeah.
We might get Riri Williams to be the new Iron Man. I forget what she's called in the comics.
I can't think of her name.
Yeah, well, we might get.
Also, why the fuck? Can we just go off on like a 10-second thing?
Sure.
How the fuck did they not change it to Iron Woman? How in any scope did they think that was still a cool idea?
Feminists are gonna have a fucking run with this.
Well, no,
sorry.
I'm sorry. No, but yeah, just
I can't be woman.
No, but I'm serious. Like,
we're with the women.
No, but I'm serious. I really don't understand that. That sounds so ignorant. You know, like I'm sorry. That just sounds dumb to me. Like it's just like, yeah, she's Iron Man. No, she's Iron Woman. I'm not.
She's a woman.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not trying to be like, oh,
it's a symbol.
She's Iron Heart. That's what it is.
Well, for the record, though, and yes, that is her. But no, but stop. But her whole thing is, and that's fine, and they do that in the comics. But the title of the comic is still Iron Man.
It's Invincible Iron Man for the first 5 issues. They are changing it to Ironheart.
Okay, because
they were just using it as the transition.
I was like, motherfucker, I'm still seeing Iron Man. I was like, I just went to the comic store yesterday. They're still fucking there. I was like, yeah. Which that like is okay. Then I'm glad they're changing the title. And like I said, and the only reason I say that is just because it's a different setup. It's not, oh, she's just a lady. Yeah. Now it has to be different. Yeah. And like, no, I'm still going to be into it. Just as much as long as the character has just as much in-depth story. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? You've had Stark in it forever. But at the same time, it's such a weird character. I still was very mixed on when they, Jesus Christ, this is probably 10 years ago at this point, but when they were like, yeah, Peter Parker's not going to be Spider-Man anymore, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, right?
I was like, Jesus Christ, why don't we just like flip the... It's the only time I was like ignorant. I was like, the only time it's like, yeah, you're going to tell me we're not going to eat apple pie and store bald eagles on 4th of July. I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, this is crap. But then the second I saw like Miles' backstory and stuff, I was like, oh, this is fucking rad. Yeah. And he has his own Ultimate Universe. In the Ultimate Universe, they get away with a lot more stuff, and the characters can be a lot more bombastic and move shit around and be more brash. And I was like, oh, that's rad. I'm all for it then. Yeah. That's a perfect outlet for that to go. But then, oh, Jesus Christ. We gotta have a comic rendition one of these fucking days, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I need to read more comics.
Spider-Man is going in weird motherfucking directions. I don't know how I feel about it.
That's a whole nother...
Yeah, it's a whole fucking other thing. Yeah.
How about the fact that Marvel went and venomized all the different characters in the artwork?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see all that? I love that.
I actually have... Here, hold on one sec. I gotta find it. Yeah.
For all the viewers who can't view,
they
we
did.
Just pulled up a comic here.
Yeah, for the Venomized Champions.
Yes.
Well, you've already seen it, haven't you?
Yeah. Take a closer look at it. But yeah, so what they did was, for a lot of the whole gang, it's Cyclops. Mm-hmm. Cyclops, Nova. Well, with Champions, so Champions is like a whole newer, it's a way more kind of like off-the-cuff Avengers that they're doing. It's actually a whole group of the newer Marvel kids leaving the Avengers because the Avengers are way too old school and shit's going down, and so they start up a group called the Champions So you have like Miss Marvel.
Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel.
That-
Yes, thank you for
Was
clarifying
the
that, sorry.
last thing, like, if I can think of, like, the last thing I can think of, as far as, like, what are we going to do with Marvel? Venom takes over Cyclops.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, so by the way, though, with
whoa.
with these covers though, hold on, let's not get this twisted. So these covers are like fan fiction-esque covers.
Okay,
So
okay.
Venom shows up in the comic, but they don't
Yeah,
get
they're
all.
not-
They're
they're
not
not
all symbiote.
symbiote,
Like the cover arts that they do in comics a lot like that are
Okay.
like fan art stuff.
Oh, so they're just tickling my penis.
Exactly. That's exactly what.
I don't want any part of
That's
this.
exactly what. They're
How do
doing.
you do that?
That's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, they do that a lot. There's a lot of well, it's also too. It's like another perfect example is in the near the end of Civil War, not the actual Civil War story, but one of the outskirt things that's happening during Civil War is Spider-Man, like Peter Parker, is having a big fight with Venom.
Yep.
And on the cover, it's one of like the coolest covers. It's like Parker just like, oh no, and like squatted down, like scared, and like Venom almost like full eating him. Now that actually never happens in the comic when you read the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's just to pick you up on that instant, like, oh fuck, like the art's really good and it's so vivid, it catches you immediately, and you know it's a peril.
Another
You know what I mean?
great.
It sets you for the tone.
It's still uncalled for.
Oh no, hold on. Hold on.
It's not-
But by the way, if this makes you feel at least a little bit better too, those Venomized covers are alternate covers. Those are not the like day one print cover that you are supposed to
It's
pick up.
altered, you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a
It's
limited.
like a shiny Pokemon.
It's a limited edition cover.
No. What you did was give me...
a great,
You
a
just
great
gave me a
thing.
DVD cover that showed Star Wars Episode 8, and it was just another Meet Joe Black.
That is not.
That's how I feel!
That is not.
It wasn't anything to say, and you're like,
Meet Joe
oh,
Black.
we just have it on there because it's like, it's cool, but you won't ever see that in
They
there,
did,
so
they-
just,
they
you
did.
bought it already, fool you fucker.
They did a whole. So
Got it already.
They did a whole theme though of to collect all the comic book covers with Venomized S characters because they don't usually get away with that. Ergo. Well, hold on though. By the way, and as pissed off as you are getting, they don't do that in that specific book, but in a lot of the Venom series, there are multiple characters that do get symbioted, like Wolverine, for example.
Is there
and
a
stuff like that.
Cyclops Venom anywhere?
That's a good question. I do not know.
I don't
offhand.
think so.
There is multiple X-Men.
Black
Like I
Man.
said, Wolverine is definitely one. Jean Grey at one point, at one terrifying point.
Deadpool.
Yep, Deadpool multiple times.
Yes.
Deadpool they have a lot of fun with. Deadpool they do both ways. So they do the symbiote kind of covered on top,
Yep,
and then they do the symbiote underneath with him still wearing the comic or the
and then they
costume.
call him Venompool.
Yeah, Venompool, exactly.
Damn.
So yeah, they
Oh,
do.
great character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They,
he is fantastic.
they have some fun.
That
It's
would
like
make so
it's like
much
Venom
sense.
with a sarcastic attitude.
I will say though, and this is just me, I think I talked about this last time. Gwenpool needs to fucking stop.
Yep, absolutely, I agree.
Completely needs to
Yep,
stop.
Gwenpool needs to go away.
They had a great original concept with like, hey, let's take Gwen Stacy and do a what if scenario on the whole Peter Parker thing. Cool. Have her be the Spider-Woman now and doing her thing. That's so. I'm all for it. That's so cool. It's creative. It's a good alternate
makes
universe.
sense.
It's great. Would she just get bored now and now she's Gwenpool? Dumb as fuck. Not a fan.
Yep,
This
yep,
is stupid. Now
yep,
you're just
yeah.
doing dumb shit.
No,
What
no,
if
no.
Peter Parker was Hulk and Jupiter flew the other way? I'm done. I'm done with this shit. What if Nova went ass up when he flew? I'm tired of these what ifs. You go too far. You have a great idea and then you take a dump on it. That's exactly where like it was like.
What if Groot wasn't a tree?
Yeah, Spider. What if he was a ficus? I'm tired of these. I'm
So you're
tired of
saying like
these.
when Gwen Stacy became a Deadpool
Yes.
esque. It would make
Ergo
more sense
Gwenpool.
for her to become the fucking Black Canary. It's not even fucking.
Well, that's
Yeah, exactly.
DZ.
it's not
No,
even.
that's what he said.
No,
He
it's
knows
not
that.
even fucking Marvel.
He said that. He
It would
did say
make
that.
more
He
sense.
immediately said that. Yeah, he immediately
Because the
said that.
transition from that character to that character just
That's
makes more
awesome.
sense, and
Yeah.
it's a fucking huge
Yeah,
crossover.
there's more of a tangible
Yeah.
line.
Watch, that'll be another fucking comic book. They'll put her on the front. Gwen Stacy's now Black Canary, but she's not fucking in.
Stop! That's not what.
That's what's gonna happen.
That's not what they're doing. I feel like already, because I've talked to Jeremy multiple times about getting Jeremy into comics. I know now I'm never turning you into comics.
you're
never.
never.
Because God forbid we walk into a comic store, you're gonna be like, oh, this comic's neat, and you're gonna sift through the page and be like, this didn't happen. I'm waiting for this, and then I'll be like, yeah, no, Ian, like it's building up to it, so that's why they show you on the cover.
man.
So you gotta buy like 4 more issues in to get it. You're like, this is shit. This is all shit. rip up the comic in half, be like, I'm out. I can't handle
Oh,
it.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's funny
God.
shit.
That is great.
Oh, so last thing that we should probably talk about to kind of round this all out. So me and Jeremy have went. Ironically enough, this is the last thing we're bringing up.
Yeah, I know. This is the first. Hey!
We've done in the middle, and we've certainly done the beginning.
Yes.
So but this is the best part though, because we mostly are not going to talk about the Switch.
Yes, thank God.
We're gonna throw the ball mostly in Ian's court.
Oh.
So Ian, so you also have a Switch.
I do.
You have played a couple games, or at least one game.
One.
Okay, so one
But
game.
the only one we all care about.
Exactly.
All right, there you
exactly. So So how about this? Just give us your thoughts on Switch. So first, just tackle the system. Break it down for us. What do you think of just the console? Without any games, like
the last time I owned a handheld console, I mean, aside from just having a cell phone, which I don't really game on, regardless, the last one, and no joke, was the original DS.
You never have 3DS.
I've never had a 3DS.
You should absolutely buy a 3DS.
Just
for the record.
I was hoping my brother, and I hope he listens to this one day.
Yeah.
He gave his DS to some random girl, and I wish he'd give it to me because we're brothers.
That makes sense.
And I lived on the other side of the wall from him.
That's
and
really cold-blooded.
He had multiple, copies of Smash.
Which
and I would have
brother,
looked
by
up
the way?
played Smash.
Which brother?
This is my brother Marcus.
Marcus? Fuck you,
Marcus.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's with
So you're
love.
not in trouble this time.
It's with
yeah,
love,
exactly.
Mark.
Yeah. So fuck you
I
as
just
well.
wanted to spend time with you. That's all I wanted. That's all I ever wanted.
So anyway, besides the terrifying home story, so last time you had DS.
Yes.
That was your
So
last
it
one.
was the original DS.
Mhm.
I had the remake of like Mario 64 and Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yes, I did pet puppies and watch puppies on my.
Oh, the Nintendogs one? Yeah.
I was actually kind of young at the time when that came out.
Oh,
Surprisingly
yeah.
enough. What was
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
2005, 6, 7?
4.
4.
4.
Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, I was
We're
really
old.
young.
I was 10.
We're all.
I was in middle school. My memory serves me right.
I
I
was
almost thought it
10.
was later, and I had a demo of Metroid, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, so okay, so being my last one,
Mm-hmm.
I have avoided them because I have a thing with small screens.
Yeah,
And this
I'm the same
delivered
way.
on definitely a bigger screen.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be bigger, but I'm not disappointed whatsoever.
Yes, I
Because
agree.
You can't
I
carry,
did.
you
Yeah.
can't carry a fucking tablet around everywhere.
Right.
So that excited me.
Especially if it was like an iPad S size, that would be too big.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a 12-point.
And also the controllers would be fucking huge then
Yeah.
to clip on the
They'd
side
be
of it.
ridiculous. Like I think the Wii U controller's a little too big, and they definitely put it into a sleeker design.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Wii U tablet's just it's bulkier,
Yes.
which is uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, it's definitely uncomfortable. And for me, it's the weirdest thing. This is why I actually don't like own PS4, which I think is an awesome system. And I like their newer controller from PS3. Controller layout and the ergonomics behind it make a huge difference in how I play video games. And
Yeah, oh yeah.
this is my
100%.
first time. I'm going from like I always use either keyboard, mouse, or Xbox controller to this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm in my bathroom playing, Just Dance.
I knew this was gonna go there. I knew the second you fucking said
I'm like,
bathroom. I knew the second you fucking said that. I knew. You paused even because I knew in your brain you were like, "Am I gonna say Just Dance in the bathroom?"
It's Just
And you're
Dance. It's
like-
Just Dance in the bathroom. I'm playing in front of my TV.
Which, by
and
the way, you're already lying to the
I'm
viewership
like-
because you already said you played one fucking game,
Yeah,
which we know isn't Just Dance. You would.
it's not true. I went from TV to toilet. Just Dance.
You
I
would've
can do the thriller like T-Bears
You would have had
on the
You
toilet.
would have had anybody. You would have had everybody unsubscribe at that moment. If you really meant the game I played that mattered, kept it that vague, and then Zelda, and then you go, no man, Just Dance. Not
Just
everybody's
Dance.
playing Just Dance on the Switch.
I'm playing Bomberman in the bathroom while I'm dropping other bombs. Can I go on? Shovel Knight? What am
Listen.
I shoveling?
Listen.
I'm in the bathroom.
Listen, I mostly play on console. Keep in mind, I mostly do console play. I usually don't play handheld.
I don't either, but like I enjoy the times sometimes if I'm like waiting somewhere.
No, it's a great
like,
option.
It's great.
It's great just to click those in and then just go.
Is it like
Yeah.
the best quality screen ever? No, doesn't have to be. Absolutely not.
No.
Because if anything holds true, is that graphics don't have to mean a fucking thing. First and foremost, look at Minecraft. Let's not talk about it, but look at that.
Yeah.
Success. what amazed me actually, another thing is when I first plugged in, I thought the actual plug-in that plugs into
The
your
dock.
TV, the dock,
Mm-hmm.
was going to be more advanced than what it was.
Yeah,
And
it's very simple.
It's
Yeah.
not.
It's very simple.
And it didn't disconcern me to find out that it wasn't. At first it did, but when I turned on my TV, my source was set to HDMI 1. It was plugged to HDMI 3. To be able to take that, I'm playing as I'm setting it down.
Yep. And then just
It
click right into it.
Overrides my own TV and
Yep.
sets the source.
Yep.
That blew my mind more than actually just how quick it actually connected.
Yeah.
Because within a couple seconds, boom, I'm in the game.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then again, and it was a deal breaker for me. I'm playing Zelda. I have to poop and I don't want to stop. I'm serious. I'm sorry.
Hold on, for the listeners at home, Ian is very, very concerned about his poop level as opposed to gaming ratio. It's a very important
Yes.
thing for Ian as
Absolutely.
a consumer. Just as a consumer,
Hands
just
down.
to elaborate for Ian's personal poop review here of where he's going.
Nintendo needs to cater to the IBS community.
Stop. You're going too far
This
now.
is it. This is
Jesus
it.
Christ.
But the on the go.
Welcome to episode 1 of the Poop Cast.
The on the go is amazing. Being able to pick it up and you're leaving off. I have not turned my Switch off
Mm-hmm.
since basically maybe once, but since I
Yeah,
bought
yeah,
it,
yeah.
I didn't have to turn it off. It's in sleep mode.
Yep.
The battery life is incredible.
Yes.
It has a fan system inside.
Which a lot of people, and that's one thing I was very surprised at. I've heard a lot of people complain about the battery
Yeah.
life. I put in 8 to 10 hour sessions with Zelda. I have never, so far, after playing it for 2 weeks now, I have never had to put the entire setup down because I have to charge. I've never been, like, personally interrupted from stopping because I've had to charge. Now, I will say, like I said, I mostly play in console mode, but I have multiple times, like, especially, too, if I'm just sitting and I'm like, I'd really like to watch Netflix while I'm just traveling on horseback in Zelda for, easily a good 5 to 10 minutes, and I can watch something, and then, as long as I'm not fighting like a divine beast or something like that. Like, if I'm not doing anything major, if I'm just doing dumb puzzle shrines, I'll just pop in handheld mode for like an hour or two. So I do like that they have that feature, but I don't.
And going off of battery life, the battery life for the controllers,
Mhm.
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Because I'll play for 10 hours, and I certainly hope it's accurate. I'll look at the battery thing, and
It's
it'll still say full.
full,
Like,
yeah.
it won't even look like it's
Mhm.
going down.
Like
That's
three-
amazing.
yes.
Never
Green
had a
options are
doubt.
still
Never saw it go past green.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, my Switch, and I'm actually upset because I wanted to bring it here and hopes to play a game, but I left that at a friend's house. I guarantee if I go back there, everything's still almost full.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
probably.
So anyone who's having issues, there's something wrong with the product from manufacturing,
Yeah.
or they have no luck.
Which, fair enough.
Which even so, like I said, I mean, I'm putting 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you're
if you-
putting in more, I mean, just for health's sake, put the fucking
Yeah,
Switch down. Jesus. I mean, coming from a very dedicated gamer myself,
Yeah.
God's sake, just put the damn thing down. Yeah. But no, and then Ian, of course, we have to ask though, what do you think of Zelda?
Great. The reason I think it's so awesome,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, is
Mhm.
because I have only completed one Zelda game ever in my life. One almost.
So very similar to Jeremy.
Yes.
One almost.
Mhm.
I almost beat.
Which one was it?
The one I almost beat. How about this? Is Majora's Mask.
Okay.
Okay.
That was like one of my first ones, aside from trying it on Nintendo when I didn't understand what that game was.
Now let me say this. No, when you say you almost beat it, were you playing it on N64 or on 3DS?
I was playing it on 64.
Okay, so when it
I
originally came
literally gave my brother the N64 to get past one part in the game that didn't help me beat the game, so it was almost pointless. And then I never got to beat it because I gave it to him.
Yeah.
And he never let me on it.
Got it.
Which dumbest move.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mark. So
Same brother.
same brother. Yeah. You can tell
Same
he's
brother,
a savage.
Yeah, exactly.
Savage
with your
Nintendo
Nintendo.
products.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always Nintendo.
Just crushing your Nintendo
Yeah.
dreams.
So the only one I ever beat was Zelda Wind Waker because the art style captured me, and I felt the art style captured that series better than any of any of the games. Okay, and the reason I think so, it felt very high fantasy. It felt soft, and it was calming and relaxing, and it it was so big and expansive, and it was the first one that big.
Yeah.
I will say too. No, you're absolutely right. That was definitely the first one
It was
to
so
go
different.
to go in an absolutely different direction and have that payoff. But I will say too, on a more mild note, but definitely still stuck with the theme really well. If you ever decide to like play older ones, Twilight Princess goes on a way darker theme, and yeah,
that was I did tie into Twilight
really
Princess,
well with that.
and I speak for everyone. And if anyone disagrees, they are wrong.
There it is.
There's no opinion.
You heard it here, folks.
This is a Wind Waker Twilight baby, and many people have said it.
Yes.
It has the geographical features of Twilight Princess, and we have a very similar art style to Wind Waker.
A brighter overall.
But it's not full-on cel-shaded either.
Nope.
Right.
Which is kind of weird.
It dances on the fence.
I'll tell you what.
Both.
One of the most
So good.
amazing things about this game is the art style that they chose to draw the grass.
Yes.
The grass is just, I don't know what it is about it. It's like it
Still kind of pixely
reminds
up close,
me,
almost.
right? What it reminds me very, very much so of the way that the boy is drawn in The Last Guardian.
Yes.
It's the same kind of feel.
Well, what I was just gonna say was too, you could definitely tell even too, because I mean, like even playing the game, you know, a couple minutes in, the whole point is for you, which I'm not gonna do spoilers here, but like the whole main point of the game is to destroy the Calamity. We'll just simply title it that. So it's to destroy the Calamity, you know, but the game is titled Breath of the Wild. It is clearly based off exploration
Open
and the
world,
environment.
yeah.
So you could tell they almost more in this one focus the graphics more on the environment.
Yes.
And then let that theme flourish into what the character looked like. I mean, geez, I mean, and this is even on the cover, so I don't feel bad about this. But this is the first time you have Link not in even the traditional attire.
Spoiler, Link's in the game. First off. God.
But
You're an
yeah.
asshole for ruining that part.
But yeah.
How do we know it's him?
So you have So you have
Maybe
no.
it's a
Well,
her.
don't confirm that because then you are doing spoiler shit.
Maybe it's a her.
Stop. No, it's on the cover, Ian.
You don't know.
Yes, you do. It's on the cover.
Is that person naked?
No, it's not that dark into the silver.
Is Zelda in it?
Stop.
I'm done.
Now
Okay,
you're
I'm
doing
done.
shit. So, Jesus Christ. But this is the first one though where it's just, you know, it's way more of like relaxed attire. It's almost more he's wearing summer clothes at this point. You know what I mean?
Oh my
So.
God, it's a horrible game for me. It actually took me 10 hours just to get to the first village type area.
Oh well, yeah. No,
It took me 10 hours. Almost 10 hours. I literally
No, I
got
believe
to
that.
a point where like it's right over there.
Just go.
And I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? And
Yeah.
I end up like for 4 hours, and
Just
this is the
venturing.
This is like the first night. I'm like
It's like
playing.
day one.
I'm like, oh man, cool. So why am I? It's 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. in the morning, and I have work at 9.
Yep.
What am I doing? And that's awesome. It's just I feel this kind of game sucks for me because I feel I have to explore everything or I'm never gonna go back. But they have things set in place to help you with that.
Yes.
Which is great for me.
Yes.
Which I won't talk about. It's not a huge spoiler, but it definitely helps
The
for
way they
people who
have
get lost.
quest
and have
systems
ADD.
and stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
They do a very good job with it.
Yes, they do.
So how about this? So let's relatively kind of wrap it up with this though. So Ian, if you could give the Switch and Zelda, but 2 separate ratings, if you could give them a rating from like 1 to 10 for the Switch, out of a console, just a console, what would you rate it?
I have a hard time.
I know. Listen, I'm putting you on the spot.
I know. I have a
And
hard.
keep in mind too, before you give this answer,
Uh-huh.
you are rating this on the day one release. You are rating this on what is out now. Your answer is
It's gonna
say
change.
we ask you 6 months from now, it can change.
Yeah,
So
it can change in 4 days when the actual virtual console
course.
comes up and they put up a bunch of cool shit, like Bomberman 64.
So
Bomberman.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm very hype about Bomberman 64. I need
Really?
it. I need it on the Switch.
are you SpongeBob?
I need it on the Switch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's. Ugh. I'm sorry. Continue.
so
So you're ready.
I again like you were saying, but I have a hard time like rating stuff
Locking
just because
it down, in
it's
general.
it's of course his opinion. No one gives a fuck about my opinion. But I'm on here,
Shenanigans,
but
that's
I'm
why
on
we
here
had you on this
talking anyways.
podcast, sir.
Yeah.
But I'm on here talking anyways.
Yes, we very
so
much
but I don't really own Nintendo consoles all that much, and I
Well, how
have
about that?
I have
Yeah,
a bad taste about handhelds.
Okay.
But
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even with that.
as far as
Even
handhelds
with
go,
that
in my
disclaimer.
expectations
Yep.
of what I was expecting out of this,
Mm-hmm.
I would say easy 8 to 9.
Okay.
And
That's cool.
it could be a 10.
Listen, it
Once
can change.
I'm a little upset about the game launches.
Yeah.
I think they released a game that's going to keep me busy for a very long time until the games that I've been waiting for, and we all know what they are.
Yep.
There's 2 in mind. Because I want to play with my friends.
Just Dance 2018.
Okay, so
I think we can all agree that Just Dance 2018.
let's get a locker room and showers and do it. Okay, anyways. So, an easy 8, it's great.
Okay.
And it could easily be a 9 to 10 once other games get released.
With
I wish
potential.
I wish they released more games.
Yep.
But it's new,
Mhm.
and I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
Okay.
Honestly.
So then to flip the script on that then. So
Breath.
Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. This feels like my favorite Zelda game that I've ever played.
Listen, it is flipping. I mean, from a lot of people who are like born and bred with Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time, a lot of people are making this their favorite Zelda game of all time.
Yeah.
And there is clearly
There's reasons.
anyone
So much
who,
potential.
for anyone
Oh my
who's
God.
fucking played this game. There's a fucking reason for it.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
So I've already gotten lost. I had speculation.
Lost is your natural.
I got in
thing in
speculation.
this game.
I was. I'm sorry, not speculation. I was skeptical because I'm like, I have all these items. I have no idea what they are yet.
Yep.
And then I finally kind of found what I'm supposed to do.
It's
with
just the
them.
rotation of learning that everything you have
Yeah.
is temporary.
If you read, you can figure it out on your own. If you read and just pay a little bit close attention,
Yeah.
and maybe it's a little bit more difficult for someone like me, but for how much time I already spent in it and how much it's captivated me through music and the characters already, and
yeah, the story. Yeah.
for the fact that it doesn't just say go do this all the time.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, I just stumbled on this thing. What is this? And I'm like, oh my god, this is so amazing. It takes me away from stress. And
Yeah.
I give that personally, not just to agree with everyone else,
Mhm.
it's a 10.
There it is. 10 out of 10.
But now the real question: what's your rating on Just Dance?
Yeah, there it is. From playing it for literally 0 seconds, 0 minutes,
bathroom.
and no hours. What would your bathroom rating of Just Dance 2017 be?
I once had a dream.
How many? Hold on, no. Let's even rate the scale differently. So out of 5, how many poops are we giving Just Dance 2017?
No,
Right now.
Let's change that. How many hours are you spending in the bathroom with Just Dance 2017?
There it is. A day.
A day.
Let's say a day. You just gotta give us a number. That's it. The podcast people will
my
not
gosh.
be satisfied unless we get an answer. to
How
this
much
question.
explosive?
No, we're talking about hours. Hours.
Hours.
How
if I
many
spend in the bathroom-
hours a day do you spend in the bathroom playing
I will
Just Dance?
spend more with Just Dance because I've always wanted to dance and poop.
Dance or night. Okay.
Dance,
You want
dance and defecate.
the
The double D's.
the working man's dream. I really
I've
hope.
always wanted to learn how to do the rumba.
I
and,
really
and-
hoped when you walked up to pick up that switch, the first thing you said was, "I can't wait to take a shit and play Just Dance." And what's better is you walk out only picking up Zelda.
and I get.
You just leave with full attention.
I get
And
Just
then
Dance.
you-
I go immediately to the public bathroom.
And then immediately, and then, one thing, I just love that sales clerk that told me to go, but he only picked up Zelda. What is it? It's not on the eShop.
man.
How is he gonna do that? Oh god. So
Jesus.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic console, and I can't wait for more.
there we go.
There we go.
There it is.
Absolutely, hands down. First Nintendo console in forever. I've always been kind of an Xbox fanboy or PC.
Well, still
As a
are.
Wii.
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say, still are.
Nintendo made me a believer again, and I can't wait to see what they do.
That's what I'm saying. It's all potential, and we just hope that, like me and Jeremy have said a million fucking times, we just pray to God that they meet even partial expectation. And just keep trying. Like ARMS, for example, is one I'm really looking forward to, and I just want them to hit the mark of new and
Mario
interesting.
Odyssey.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But see, like even Mario Odyssey that was based off a franchise, you're already gonna get a lot of new
Yeah.
people on that. Like ARMS is new, kind of like how Splatoon was. Like I just want to see that
And
new.
Splatoon was a fairly good
That's
success
what,
for
like
the Wii U.
I'm still definitely gonna check out
I
Splatoon
still
2
need to play.
slash
Which,
HD remake. of-
Reminder,
Yeah.
for everybody, both us and everybody listening.
Yes.
the 23rd through the 25th of March, you can play Splatoon 2's beta.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is coming up
On-
relatively soon.
On the
On the
Switch.
Switch.
On the Switch.
Yes.
Because it's only going to be out for the Switch.
Oh, great.
Yeah, 'cause
Wow.
And also, because of the multiplayer service not being charged until the fall,
Yes.
you can play with other people
For free.
on
Nice.
Splatoon
For a temporary
for
period of
free
time.
for the beta.
Yes, for a
So
temporary period of time.
everybody should hop on that, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
So Ian, this has been pretty great, bro.
Absolutely.
This
Yes,
was a
I'm
very,
very
very good
glad.
episode.
Yeah, we had some pretty good dialogue.
I
back
was a
and
little
forth.
just kind of like nervous at first, but
Killed it.
this is totally
Everybody
like
is.
everything we do, regardless. Maybe just a little bit more official than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a little more formal, but other than that, yeah, this is
Yeah,
It's normally
spectacular.
what we
I would
do.
love to do it again.
Yes, listen, man, we'd love
Absolutely.
to have you on
Yeah.
again. We'll definitely set that up. Also, too, as we usually have been reminding people on the live stream as well as the podcast, we also do live streams. Ian, we would love to have you on a live stream one of these days coming
Absolutely.
up pretty soon. We'll try to
Ian's
set something
just
up.
into Overwatch just as much as Nick and I are.
And
so.
mostly even just gaming in general.
I'm always
Usually most games we play-
Reinhardt. They always make me play Reinhardt.
That's
Please
not.
help.
We
Stop. Don't do this. Stop.
I'm an indentured servant.
No, stop. Listen.
College basketball.
We'll qualm this on the next live stream. We might also have to edit the fact because I'm just realizing this now. Did I actually do the intro without saying the date?
No, you said the
Did I
date.
say? Did I
You
say?
said the date.
Okay, I did
Yep.
say March 12th.
Yep,
Okay.
you said
Now
the
we have
date.
to edit that out.
Yeah, well, no. Well, I'm asking out loud, honestly. So just to recap on everybody, was March 12th, 2017. God forbid they're talking about some type of Andromeda conversation, then they go, no, the game didn't play, that's stupid. No,
Yeah.
March
Yeah.
12th, just to recap on everyone. We are going to have a post show. Ian, we'd be glad to have you on that one for that
Yes.
as well, so we can
As well, we
obviously
do have
reflect
I
another
on that.
thought
guest
I
planned for
wasn't
that
gonna
one.
be
Yes.
there, and if I can, I'll be so excited.
Yeah, there
and
we
I
go.
can't
Absolutely.
wait till we can do a freeze
Listen, man, we'd be
frame
glad to
triple
have
high
it.
five together.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that might be our thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's gonna be my header on Facebook. Friends forever.
Oh, God. Well,
best friends.
and copyright issues. Then we're done.
There
There it is. All right,
We're not
everybody.
sponsored by the Hangover.
So yes, so Ian, like I said, thank you again for coming on. We'll be glad to have you on. We'll keep everybody updated as well too for any other guest updates that we are having.
Yep.
Let
Plus
us
new
know.
episodes, new live streams,
Yes.
and everything.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so
Also-
much for having me on, guys.
Also too,
Absolutely.
personal shout out to everyone, especially checking us out now. We had a pretty big live stream the last
Yes.
time we live streamed. We got a lot more followers even on Twitch, Facebook likes and follows, and especially new listeners too on YouTube. So yeah, we just want to throw out another personal shout out. Thank you guys all again. Any questions that you have for either me, Jeremy, or even especially Ian too, please leave in the comments. We'd be glad to answer any type of questions. Any suggestions too for topics we should bring up with our guests, especially for reoccurring ones.
also, if you'd like
definitely let
Ian
us
to
know.
come back, let us know.
Absolutely.
Because we will
Yes.
I'll give you
absolutely
some
have Ian
Just Dance techniques.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yes.
Dance sessions with Ian.
Yes. All right, everybody. And on that note, good night, good luck, good morning, and Godspeed.
yeah. If you didn't set your clocks ahead, it is morning for the next day.
Oh God, yeah. Don't even get me started on that. All right.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody. Adios.
Good night.